teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Some are pretty straightforward. Arsenal are the Gunners because they were founded by a group of munitions workers, and Bournemouth are the Cherries because their old stadium was built right next to a cherry orchard. Then there's Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ipswich Town nicked their nickname off their opponents in the late 90s, Birmingham. The term Tractor Boys was chanted as a way to tease the team about their farming background, but they started using it themselves as a way to cheer on the team in victory instead. Take that, Birmingham. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Crystal Palace's nickname came from an extreme makeover. They were having a nightmare run in the 70s, and when they were relegated, their manager, Malcolm Allison, wasn't having it. I know what will make us better, he thought, a new nickname. The Strong and Deadly Eagle sounded like a pretty good bet. And there's more to that story. Brighton used Palace's nickname to inspire their own. Ooh, bird, they thought. Let's just pick a different one for us. And so, in a heated match between the two teams back in 1976, when Palace fans began chanting "Eagles, Eagles," Brighton fans had the perfect reply: "Seagulls, Seagulls." So next time the away ends chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Liverpool at the moment staring down the barrel of a 10th defeat in 14 games in all competitions, a 16th in 33 and a 5th home defeat in 7 matches. You know, Dean, they haven't lost consecutive home league games in front of supporters since 2012.
There's no urgency, I wouldn't say, about Liverpool when they get the ball. Still a little bit passive, a little bit lacking in confidence.
Too many players are off their game. And even with changes, I mean, Isak has really been on the fringe of every game I've watched so far. And there are about 4 or 5 major problems wrong with the team at the moment. And it's costing them dearly.
Could be more than 4 or 5. Thank footballers Friday. Ade Oladipo alongside Rory Jennings. Remember, however you watch your telly, you can now also watch talkSPORT from your Samsung and your LG TVs to Fire TV, Chromecast and Apple TV. talkSPORT is live on your screen as well as your speakers. What TV do you have, Mr. Jennings? Do you know?
No, I haven't got a clue.
I was just thinking about that. No, as I asked that question, I don't even know what TV I have.
Mate, I haven't got a clue. I don't know anything that goes on in my house.
Yeah,
I have nothing to do.
He's very true. He doesn't know anything. Yeah.
Do you know there's a painting that's been up in my house for about 3 weeks? I had no idea that it was there. I said to my wife, I was like, that's lovely. She said, Rory, it's been there for nearly a month. Like, have you not noticed?
Yeah,
Walk past it every day on the stairs.
So you don't know what TV you've got. Liverpool, let's talk what's wrong before we go back to the phone lines. Again, we are taking calls on Mo Salah, 03717 223344. We'll go back to the call shortly. But Liverpool as a whole, you mentioned just before the break that there have been improvements in the last 4 games. The win at West Ham, which I thought was a big win. Drew of Sunderland, which was disappointing. Drew of Leeds, I thought very disappointing. But I guess the win away in the San Siro against Inter Milan is kind of papered over some cracks. How would you judge Liverpool's form of recent?
No, I think it's been... There is no way to dress this up. It's been a disaster. It's been a pitiful title defence. You know, if you think about how long it's been since Liverpool have retained a league title, talking nearly 40 years, and I felt like they were really on course to retain the league title. Yeah. And they have kind of given it up with a whimper. If you think about the historically, some of the worst title defences, you think of maybe Chelsea under Mourinho off the back of winning it in 2015. You think about maybe Leicester City, Claudio Ranieri's defence of it. This is comparable to that. This is one of the worst defences of a league title that we've ever seen.
I would almost say this is the worst because of the expectations going into the season. Like, we were talking about 100 points. I mean, you prior to the start of the season, we're talking about Liverpool could go unbeaten.
I thought it was going to be a cake.
Yeah, everyone was like, okay, you've won the transfer window and this is it. And it's supposed to be easy.
They were the best team in the country last year.
Yeah.
They won the league by 10 points. They then had a transfer window that was being compared to the best transfer windows of all time. Like, it was a Galactico transfer window, wasn't it? So I'm incredibly surprised with how it's gone. In terms of trying to understand it, though, I actually think, and I know hindsight is an incredible gift here, but it's actually quite obvious where it went wrong. Konate has been so bad. You can understand why that pursuit of Mark Gahey went in late. You can understand why that happened. The injury to Leone has been disastrous. It turns out that they should have just done everything to get Gahey over the line. I think Gahey in and maybe a lack of fullback action and it all slots into place far easier.
Yeah, it's not as bad. You're right. I mean, they always say defences win titles. Well, that's what they say, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, Liverpool's defence has been horrendous.
It's been the fullbacks,
Fullbacks
I
have
think.
been bad, yeah. Kirkes, Conor Bradley can't stay fit, which is worrying considering how young he is. And we've not seen Frimpong. I can't remember the last time I saw Frimpong on the pitch.
And you've had a situation where you've had, when you've got midfielders playing as fullbacks, it's always a recipe for disaster. When you've got midfielders as defenders.
And when you've got your best midfielder playing right back, then you've got an issue. Can we have a quick conversation about Alexander Isak?
It's interesting, isn't it?
I'm almost tired of hearing that he didn't have a pre-season. Because, when does that stop? What's happened to Isak? I know he's not getting the service like he was with Jacob Murphy and Anthony Gordon, but there are times when even for Newcastle, he would pick the ball up. Remember that when he skipped past about 8 Everton players? Was it Everton?
Yeah, on the touchline.
We don't even see that from him anymore.
What I was surprised by, I think he got a chance against Manchester United. A really typically Alexander Isak at Newcastle goal.
I think that's Konate actually setting that ball through to him.
Was it?
Yeah.
And you just kind of looked at it and you were like, you know what he's going to do here. Alexander Isak, when he was at Newcastle, he had that electrifying pace, that ability to control a very difficult pass and then lash it home. Like he had that ping, that immediate, instant ping. Kind of did it without much backlift, just wallop.
Did it against Van Dijk. Remember it? Did it against Van Dijk
and ran off laughing.
Corner, yeah.
He scored a great goal from outside the box against Liverpool, didn't he?
He did.
And you think that he had that ping, like it's comparable to like the Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank ping, very little backlift, just wallop. And he sort of dragged it. And you're like, that's not the player that we know. In terms of trying to understand what has gone wrong for him, I really don't know. I mean, people will talk about the lack of pre-season, the injury that happened over the summer, and the fact that he wasn't with his teammates, and I think that goes some way to explaining it. But I also wonder, playing for a massive club like Liverpool is very different to playing for a club like Newcastle.
And the way in which he left the club, Newcastle, and the amount of money that he's been bought for, when some were saying, do we really need him because Ekitike's there? And then there's almost been this fight between him and Ekitike. So every time he plays, he's got to deliver.
Are you worried? You know when I think over history, obviously you and I'm a Chelsea fan, you're a Liverpool fan. We've had this in the past. We lived this nearly 20 years ago. Fernando Torres was one of the best strikers I've ever seen with my own eyes. I remember being in the away end at Anfield and the entire Kop reverberating to that Fernando Torres song, right? The whole stadium bouncing up and down to that song. He scored 2 goals just before he signed for us. He cut in. It was one of the most ruthless strikers. I remember we were playing you in the Champions League. You were coming to Stamford Bridge. And I remember Steven Gerrard saying, I think a question was put to him, you've never scored at Stamford Bridge in the Champions League before. And his answer was, well, we've never been there with Nando in the side before. And you're like, that's how highly Gerrard rated him. He came to Chelsea and ultimately was a flop. We can dress it up. We can talk about the European Cup. We can talk about the goal in Amsterdam or whatever else. But ultimately, what Fernando Torres came to Chelsea to do, he didn't do. Are you worried that this is a great player, gets a move, and just never lives up to the billing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you really?
100%. 100%. For every Liverpool forward that we've had, where there's been a Suarez or there's been a Torres, there's been many that have been absolutely useless. You think, even, I feel bad saying this, but even Milan Barros, I mean, I remember when he came off the Euros.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he came off the Euros. They was like, oh my God, we've got something here. And we didn't have anything.
But are you worried, or do you feel like it can still... Do you think we're going to see that version of Alexander Isak again? Beating a man, playing on the last shoulder, lethal. Do you know when we were having a conversation about Erling Haaland or Alexander Isak? I would always argue for Alexander Isak, and my logic was, particularly last season... Better footballer. Also, variety of goals.
Yeah, better footballer. Even the headers. He looks like... He's always thin, isn't he? He's actually quite slight. It's like he's lost about half a stone. Yeah. He looks even more slight, doesn't he?
I just can't understand it, because he has to be the main man. Yeah. He can't play on the periphery. He can't be the other guy.
That probably is it, by the way. At Newcastle, without a doubt, even how good that squad is, that midfield and Anthony Gordon who was firing, it was Isak. You are the main man. At Liverpool, he isn't that. Not yet.
No.
And maybe this Salah thing's a bit more into that. He needs to be the main man, the guy. With Salah there, with others there, maybe he hasn't got that mantle and he doesn't feel like it's his club yet.
If it gets going, if Florian Wirtz becomes the player that he was supposed to become, if Alexander Isak becomes the player, if Hugo Ekitike keeps moving in the right direction, there's an awful lot of talent there. And I rate Slot. I'm still not ready to say that Slot isn't a genius. I'm still not there. I know loads of people are ready to write him off. I know that there are some Liverpool fans, particularly those online, perhaps maybe even exclusively those online, that seem to believe that he should pay with his job. If this goes well for Liverpool, they are going to be fine.
Yeah, all right. The texts are coming. Let's quickly read out a few before we go to the phone lines. This one's come from Ian. Says, gents, could tomorrow's inclusion of Mo be a deal that's been done to let him wave goodbye to the fans?
I just don't
I
believe
think there's
it.
something in that. I think there's something.
But that means that you're picking a squad based on what's best for Mohamed Salah, not necessarily what's based.
Remember, this is a squad. This isn't a starting 11. This isn't the bench. This is just a squad. We don't know if he's sat in the stands. It could be that. It just could be that.
I don't believe that Arne Slot will pick a squad based on.
I think this is
Mohamed
above Arne Slot's head. I really do think this is above Arne Slot. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Richard, Liverpool fan. Richard, I mean, it's been a crazy season, but the last couple of weeks it's really ramped up. The last few days have been mental. What have you made of this Salah situation?
Now, guys, well, I think this whole Salah situation has just been blown all out of proportion.
Go on.
Personally, I don't think Salah should have been picked for this squad at all because of the way he's like handled himself. But I think Slot was always planning to bring him back for this game. And another thing, I really do think like Salah's gone to him and probably apologised, said, look, my head was gone, I wasn't in a good place. So I apologise, and I think that's the only reason why he's back in the squad.
But why do you think that he's apologised? He came out and spoke publicly. So if he's going to apologise, surely he would extend the courtesy to his teammates and his manager. The apology should be public as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, I do.
But if the apology hasn't come publicly, then I don't think it's right for us to just assume that it's happened privately. Everything else has happened publicly.
Yeah, you could be right there. But, yeah, well, my feelings on the whole situation is that I don't think he should have been picked at all.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I think more on principle, though, Richard. I think more on principle he shouldn't have been picked. I wouldn't care if he was. I wouldn't care if he was Pele or Lionel Messi of 2013. I don't think he should be in the squad. And I would say that I've lived this before. This isn't me saying this, trying to be snide towards Liverpool. When Romelu Lukaku was at Chelsea and he was Chelsea's best option for goals, we bought him off the back of.
It's different. You can't make that.
No,
comparison.
the comparison.
You can't make that comparison.
The comparison is fair. The comparison is fair.
No, it's not.
Our best outlet for goals when we won a European Cup, we then signed for £100 million.
He was there for 4 months.
When we signed Romelu Lukaku, he was our best outlet for goals. We won a European Cup. The final missing piece of the jigsaw to launch a serious and sustained bid to win the league was Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku then went to Sky Italia, took an unsanctioned interview, and threw a grenade at Chelsea. On principle, you don't ever play for Chelsea again.
No, I think it's different. I get what you mean, but did he play for Chelsea again?
Yeah, he did. But what I'm saying is the principle is that he shouldn't have done. And that was my opinion. He should have never, ever had the luxury and the it's an amazing experience to play for a football club. You don't just get to do that after disrespecting the club to that degree.
All right, let's go to Carol, Liverpool fan, and see if she agrees with you. Carol, what do you make of this situation? Should he be allowed to put on the Liverpool shirt again?
I've got my son with me as well, Isaac. He's a fan of Liverpool. That's all we've been discussing lately, obviously, as a lot of fans are. I don't really know. I think if he's gone public as he has, he needs to apologise publicly and then take it from there. We're guessing at the moment that he has apologised. I don't think he should play this weekend, and neither does my son Isaac. We don't think he should be playing this weekend. I think we've played pretty well without him. Okay, we were unlucky with Leeds with a 3 draw, but I don't think.
Carol, does his previous 8 years not count for anything?
No.
Yeah. I'm asking Carol, unless your name's Rory Carol Jennings.
Well, yeah, no, it does. He's a legend, and I do love player. You know, he's brought such a lot to Liverpool, such a lot of success, but it's diminished that now because of what he's done. Liverpool is, as you said, one of the greatest clubs there is. And that's not how we deal with things. I don't understand why he's done it. I just don't.
Well, he's clearly decided why he's doing it, and that probably means he wants out of the club. Carol, appreciate the call. Thank you very much. Don't forget, Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, Dean Ashton and Scott Minto will be all over that game. Adrian Durham with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and beyond, including Liverpool versus Brighton, which is a 3:00 kickoff. All right, Abby Davis, an update. What's going on at the PDC World Darts Championship?
Yeah, well, match one of tonight's session at Ali Pali is underway, and it's been an incredibly intriguing open a couple of sets. Ross Smith really slow and sloppy out of the traps, punished by Andreas Harrison in the opening 2 legs before overturning that deficit to take the opening set spectacularly on the bull for a lovely 87 checkout. He again trailed 2-0 in set 2, produced an 11-darter in the way of response. He has responded again to force a last leg decider in set number 2. He is not having things all his own way, but he is fighting, he is digging deep and producing brilliance when he really needs to. You can catch all the action from the conclusion of this one on the talkSPORT YouTube app right now.
PDC World Darts Championship update on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Hit the bullseye this Christmas with a darty party at Village. Enjoy flights of festive fun with our interactive darts lanes, available at locations across the UK.
Go on, Rory, and be honest with this one. Liverpool versus Brighton, quite actually close in the league. Liverpool 10th, Brighton 8th, which can't even say that Liverpool 10th, like it means anything. How do you think it plays out?
I think Liverpool win the game.
Do you?
I think Liverpool win the game, yeah.
On what basis?
On the basis that I think that the win in Europe will have steered them in a positive direction, and maybe the weight, the anchor of Mohamed Salah is no more.
Interesting, the atmosphere. If Salah is on the bench or on the squad, it's going to be very, very interesting. All right, up next, we're going to be looking at Arsenal against Wolves. Remember that one tomorrow night, which will be exclusively live on talkSPORT. 8 p.m. kickoff that game.
It's talkSPORT. We are Premier League.
Here's Martinelli trying to make some space on the edge of the penalty area to get his shot off, does he? Curls it into the top corner. And Gabriel Martinelli is an Arsenal record breaker.
And now Monaco from the angle across goal. Bellegarde has steered it in. Wolves have finally scored.
It only takes one goal in the Premier League and all of a sudden things get a little bit more exciting around the stadium.
They must have had to dig deep to find that Wolves goal. I mean, they've gone into the archives for that, haven't they? Make it sound interesting. Well, the next episode of the talkSPORT Daily Podcast is going to be out at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it asks if Declan Rice is the greatest midfielder of his generation. Presenter Sam Allard, talkSPORT broadcaster Kweku Afari, and Arsenal content creator Matthew Pincus debate whether Rice is truly revolutionary, where he ranks amongst the Premier League greats, his best position, and the areas he can still refine. The talkSPORT Daily is available on all your usual podcast platforms. Mr. Rory Jennings alongside myself, Ade Oladipo. When they say, very quickly, greatest midfielder of his generation, what are they talking about? The last 5 years?
I'm not doing this.
No, I'm just asking, where?
I'm not having any conversation. Look, I rate Declan Rice so highly. He comes across as a consummate professional, an excellent footballer, and a really good bloke. Like, I hate that I like him. I hate that he's an Arsenal player, and I really like him. He just comes across as such a good bloke. Brilliant for England.
Yeah.
But we're not talking greatest anything yet, I'm afraid. We could have this conversation in a decade. I'm not having a conversation about Declan Rice being the greatest anything yet. Like, what's he won? Like, what are we talking about here?
On the Conference League with West Ham.
Yeah, like, okay, come on. Let's have a serious conversation. I will acknowledge the brilliance of Declan Rice. I will talk about how great he is in the Premier League at the moment. But I'm not talking about a lasting legacy or all-time great.
Where's this come from, though?
I have no idea.
Because it literally it's come to the fore in the last 3 or 4 months.
What are people doing? People are going, is Declan Rice better than N'Golo Kante, who won a league title with Leicester, took that league title with him, the first player to do that since Eric Cantona, to a different club, won a World Cup with France. Declan Rice is better. Really? What? Based on what? Based on the fact that there are a lot of Arsenal fans around. Based on what? What are we talking about here?
I don't know.
And do you know what?
It's the Rodri.
I don't know.
You're upset about that. I'm upset about Rodri.
I don't know Declan Rice at all. I've never met him. I really like him. It would be an honour to meet him. But I guarantee you. No, of course you won't want to meet me. That'd be mental. But I guarantee you this. He would agree with me on this. He would agree with me that it's so premature for these conversations.
Yeah.
You cannot talk about Steven Gerrard and Declan Rice.
No.
They don't play the same sport at the moment. One day we might. And the jury's out on that, and the way Declan Rice's career is going is maybe he will. Maybe he'll eclipse everyone. Maybe he'll become comparable to the very best that has ever done it, Frank Lampard.
But it is very premature.
But not today. I'm not doing it today.
He's had a good season.
Had a good season. So leave it at that.
Yeah, leave it
he's
at
had a good season. Like Stephen Ireland had a good season once. Stephen Ireland had a great season.
Yeah, he's better than that. He's had a very, very good season. Arsenal are flying at the moment. A bit of a stumble in the league. I thought they looked really good midweek in the Champions League. All that was against Bruges, which is not the toughest of away games. Madueke looked good, didn't he? That goal he scored.
Yeah,
wow.
Great goal. I thought it was a really big win. That
yeah, I thought it was a big win because Eze and Saka didn't start. And normally you think, okay, Saka has to play. You know, we've always felt they've rushed Saka back from injury.
Yeah, fit or not.
Yeah, fit or not, one leg or not, hamstring, holding out or not.
Yeah, they can't win a game without Bukayo Saka in the team. That's how we felt basically a year ago. I remember when they played Real Madrid and there was jeopardy around whether Saka would make it. And everybody was basically saying, if Saka's fit, they might be able to go through. If Saka's injured, they will not compete.
Yeah.
Like, that was proved wrong, but that was certainly the narrative going into the game.
Yeah, and a lot's changed now that they have more strength and depth in those wide areas. Let's hear from Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta, who's been asked a question about winning the league, and not just that, but what points total would do it?
Yeah, at the end, you're going to have over 90 points probably to win it. So that means win a lot of football matches, and tomorrow we have 3 that we have to earn. Hopefully tomorrow will change. We win tomorrow, and then it's a different one, and then in the last one we are the best, or in the last 2 or in the last 3. So we try to win every game, and that's the only thing that we can do in terms of being as consistent as possible.
Yeah, over 90 points sounds about right. Arsenal, they're currently averaging 2.2 points per game, which would see them finish on 83.6 points. It needs to be above 83.6 points.
83 points.
83.
Yeah, they'll need to accrue more than 83. Yeah. I think Manchester City will hit 83 points.
I agree.
I don't think that's a particularly intimidating tally. I think it's now actually, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but 83 would actually make you a fairly mediocre champion. Like over over 90 points.
Over the last decade, yes, because of what City and Liverpool have done in terms of their numbers, which is just ridiculous.
Ade, do you know what? I used to argue, not that long ago, I remember arguing that if you managed to go beyond 90, you should be considered a great. And I remember arguing that Antonio Conte's Chelsea team that managed to win the league with 93 points, get to the cup final. It wasn't a great team. Marcus Alonso, Victor Moses, it wasn't a great team at all. But it did accrue 93 points. I remember saying, over 90 makes you a great. Suddenly, we got into a situation because of the brilliance of Klopp and Guardiola, where 93 wasn't even winning you the league. Didn't Liverpool finish second with 98?
Yeah, 97.
97.
97.
And I mean, Manchester City hit 100 one year.
It's crazy.
So, no, Mikel Arteta is right. 83 probably won't do it. But Arsenal are capable of hitting the 90-point barrier.
I think they are as well. That's the top of the league. The bottom of the league is Wolves, who currently have 2 points. Everyone will remember Derby's record low point number of 11. I can't see where Wolves get a win. I really can't. You know, Rob Edwards has actually got them. They're playing better football, weirdly. But
do you think Wolverhampton Wanderers are going to break Derby County's record?
Yeah.
11 points?
Yeah.
Nah.
What do you mean, no? They're on 2
They
now.
won't. Yeah, but
Wait, they're on 2.
A couple of wins. Yeah,
but you say a couple of wins like they've not won a game.
No,
you say a couple like they can win a game. They've not won anything.
11 points is so low.
Yeah.
Over the course of a season. Like
They've conceded 33 goals and scored 8.
Yeah.
Minus 25.
Yeah, they're woeful. Yeah, they are woeful.
They're beyond woeful.
This is a gimme, isn't it, for Arsenal?
I can't believe what's happened to them.
This is the closest thing to a gimme that you get in Premier League football these days, isn't it? It's
And
like
this
when
is
Real
where-
Madrid play Iber.
I think Iber beat Real Madrid, didn't I? I'm joking. That'd be a good one if they beat them this season. Any hope for Wolves and the fact that Arsenal have played midweek and maybe there are injuries being picked up, centre-back issues there?
Two chances. Slim and none. And none left out.
You know what I was thinking about during this game? Kepa.
What?
Kepa. I was thinking about Kepa watching that
Kepa
Bruges game.
Arrizabalaga?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, what have you done? I was thinking, because I was thinking in the Europe is where you might get a few minutes, right? You might get, if you look at Villa, I think Martinez was rested to give their reserve goalkeeper a few minutes. I'm thinking, Kepa's not going to get anything.
No, Kepa Arrizabalaga is living the dream.
Just not playing any
living
football.
a dream.
Playing any football.
Yeah, he's swanning about North London as a professional footballer for Arsenal, earning a lot of money without any responsibility on it whatsoever.
It's not a bad left.
Although, in fairness, it's not dissimilar to David Raya. Like, David Raya is not exactly busy in that Arsenal back line, is he?
No, it's not at all. They are very mean when it comes to conceding goals. Arsenal versus Wolves Premier League game, 8 o'clock. Remember, tomorrow evening, presented by Reshman Chowdhury. Commentary from Sam Matterface and former England captain Stuart Pearce. Go on, score prediction.
Arsenal will win this game 5-0.
I think so. I think it could be. They don't do that, though.
They do.
Arsenal? 5, 6?
Well,
I can't remember.
They scored 4 past Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
There's goals in the team.
That's crazy, actually, isn't it? I think they'll score past. I think you're right. They scored 4 past Atletico Madrid, and I don't think, and 4 past Spurs as well, by the way. But I don't think they'll score 5 past Wolves. I don't know why.
I think they will score at least 4.
I think Wolves might nick a point. All right, West Brom against Sheffield United is about to get underway on talkSPORT 2. But up next, we're going to be looking ahead to an absolutely massive football match, the Wear Tyne Derby, which takes place on Sunday at 2 p.m.
every good signing a club makes, there's bound to be a few that don't work out. And Man United have certainly had their fair share of those, especially since the end of their golden age under Sir Alex Ferguson. Here are just some of the Red Devils' worst signings since Fergie. First up, Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez joined United from Arsenal back in 2018 and became the highest paid player in the Prem. He'd averaged almost 1 goal every 2 games for the Gunners, but in his 45 games for Man United, he only managed 5 goals. Not what you want from a star striker. Next up, Radamel Falcao. He earned himself the nickname the Tiger for his sheer efficiency and the way he used to pounce upon the mistakes of defenders. But at Man United, he was way more pussycat than Tiger, to be honest. All he managed in 29 Man United games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone much worse for Jadon Sancho at Man United. Yeah, it would have been hard to outdo his Borussia Dortmund form, but 12 goals in 83 games is not great. Things got worse after a public fallout with manager Erik ten Hag. Sancho said he was being made a scapegoat. Ten Hag said there'd been a discipline issue. It all ended up with Sancho going back to Germany. Next, Erik ten Hag probably thought he was being smart in sticking to what he knew when he signed Antony from his former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian hasn't really been able to hack it in the Prem. Chances are Antony's Man United days are numbered. Next, the curse of the Man United number 7 shirt. Not an easy act following Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and George Best, but Memphis Depay was another striker who was apparently allergic to scoring for United. He scored just 7 in 53 appearances, a huge letdown since he'd helped PSV win the Dutch league just a season before joining. Last one, Angel Di Maria was set to be United's landmark signing when he joined in 2014, but 1 season later, he was already on his way out. 4 goals in 32 games was just not good enough, given he'd broken the British record transfer fee when he signed. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the Prem for a while, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Newcastle, on any given day, they could beat anyone, and Sunderland, I mean, are holding their own, so it's going to be a real tight derby.
For Isidore, trying to spin and turn into the area, he's done just that, and he's found the net!
Laying it back for Voltemada, and then it comes to Bruno Guimaraes! Brilliant hit into the corner!
It's a real derby game.
Yeah, this is a proper derby, this is. There's some games in the Premier League and down the English pyramid where, yeah, okay, your derbies because of location, but there's no fire in the games. There is fire in this one, Sunderland versus Newcastle. Big game on Sunday, big game for both managers as well. I think Regis Lebris doing a fantastic job for Sunderland. First time in the Premier League with what feels like about 100 years. And I think Eddie Howe slowly but surely starting to get this Newcastle team playing football as well. Very quickly on that, in terms of fiery derbies, and I know me and you we could have this conversation for about an hour. We had it briefly in the break. In terms of those derbies where it is just the atmosphere is toxic and, you know, the energy is just incredible. Is this the number one in the country?
Yes, I think it is. I think it's certainly up there. When you think of the most febrile derbies that this country has to offer, I think one that really is intense, really full of spite, venom, hate, is the Birmingham derby, Aston Villa versus Birmingham. I remember watching a game at St Andrews and the home fans were on the pitch and they were launching like fireworks into the away end and stuff. It was a real clash, real animosity.
Remember that fan?
Yeah,
trying to chin Grealish.
Yeah, exactly. He did from behind.
It's not funny. I don't.
Grim.
Certainly don't think anyone should dare do that. But
I think that in terms of the most febrile, I would have to talk about.
Has to be Cardiff Swansea.
Cardiff Swansea deserves a mention. Portsmouth Southampton deserves a mention. I think though, there is certainly a world where if I could go to one derby in the country, like generally I only really want to go to Chelsea games, right? I want to go to watch Chelsea play, I want to go to watch England play. They're the only things I really want to do.
It would be this one for me.
I think Sunderland Newcastle is up there with the most aggressive, most historic fantastic histories. It's a great derby, full of spite, full of venom, full of aggression, and it will be raucous in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a really good one. Rory Jennings there. It's not happened for so long, nearly a decade, obviously, because Sunderland have been tumbling down the leagues. But when it last did happen, or at least the last league games, Sunderland are unbeaten in their last 9.
Yeah, I always think
which does surprise you.
Paolo Di Canio. Paolo Di Canio dressed incredibly, impeccably. You know, he really did look like a manager. He had that bright red tie on.
Yeah.
Bright red tie at St James's Park, right, which is a statement in itself, isn't it?
Agreed.
He's put on a bright red tie as Sunderland manager. His team win 3-0, and he's charging around there, charging in front of the Gallagher, charging down the other end, looking up at the Sunderland fans who are going potty. That to me is football. When I think of if you try and distill what is football, what is the point of football? Why do we all pledge our lives and our time and our money to being football fans? Spending loads of money to go up and down the country at God knows what time. This is it. This is the point of it. It's intoxicating. And I love watching it, even when it's not my club.
Regis Lebris almost has a free hit, doesn't he, this season? And look, I think they're going to stay up, and I think they're going to make a good fist of it. Eddie Howe, as I mentioned, is slowly starting to get the results, right? He had a chaotic sort of start of the season because of the situation with Vissa being injured and Isak going. But how much pressure on Eddie Howe to get something out of this game?
Look, I think there's huge amounts of pressure on both managers in a game like this. I really do. I think that local bragging rights really does mean a lot. Mm-hmm. And the antipathy between the two clubs makes it that nobody can really lose and be okay. It's not all right for Sunderland to lose. Of course, Sunderland are coming into this as the weaker partner. They've just been promoted. Newcastle United are a Champions League club. The local economics, perhaps unfairly, portray Sunderland as the poorer relative.
Yeah.
You know, Newcastle is seen as being one of the UK's best tourist destinations,
Agreed.
One of the best nights out. The train station, when you go to Sunderland away, you go to Newcastle and then you get Metro across. They're the. I think Sunderland fans call Newcastle the Cockneys of the North. Disparagingly, they're using that. I'd say that's a compliment, but they're probably using that in a disparaging way, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to be nice.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't think Regis Lebris, Sunderland fans will appreciate everything that's happening there. But I don't think they'll be okay with getting battered by Newcastle. You never are.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how good. I remember when Chelsea weren't very good, we always had to turn up for Tottenham. It's just, you have to. And Sunderland, the rules will be the same. They have to turn up for this game. I think they will.
Yeah, of course they will. One of the big things that, you look at Sunderland, what they've done in the big games this season, apart from that Man City defeat, I mean, they've done well against Chelsea. Obviously, they've done well they beat you, didn't they? They drew against Liverpool. They're a good side against the big teams. Obviously, this is a very big game. One of the big talking points going into this game is the kit that Newcastle could wear. You'd almost assume, regardless of who's home and away, that Sunderland will wear red and white, as they always do, and Newcastle will wear black and white. That seems to be the thing. There's a graphic, though, that's been posted on the Newcastle social media pages, which suggests that Newcastle could wear their third kit, a navy blue kit. That should just be outlawed.
I don't really understand that. I don't understand why.
Well, they're trying to shift the kit, aren't they? They're trying to sell it. They're trying to get eyeballs on it.
Yeah, I think it's a disgrace. I think it's a disgrace. Do you know what? I've just put this into Google, just this fixture, just to have a look. And I'm currently looking at a fight going on in a Newcastle 3-3 draw at Roker Park in 1967. And it's a grainy image, but what you can see are the iconic kits.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at an amazing moment. A fella called John McNamee is swinging on the net, having scored a goal in this fixture. And like I say, it's a very grainy photo from 1967 at Roker Park. But you can just see the kits. Why would you play with this?
Yeah.
Why would you not? You know, when you buy a club or you get involved in a club, effectively what you're buying into
is the history.
Right? You are custodians of one of the institutions of this country. And Newcastle United and Sunderland are both proud footballing institutions with wonderful, illustrious history. I can't understand the rationale of buying a football club with all of that, well over 100 years worth of history, and going, I'll tell you what, I've got a better idea.
Yeah, the biggest.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, the biggest fixture they're going to have this season, and it is, all right, it's not against Liverpool, it's not against Chelsea, Man United or Man City, it's against Sunderland. We'll change the kit. We'll bring out a third kit that no one cares about. All right, let's hear from the managers. We're going to hear from Eddie Howe shortly. Let's start with a Sunderland boss first, Regis Lebris. He's had a fantastic start to the season.
It's always a new story because teams have changed. The evolution of the club, the evolution of the Premier League, and Newcastle are strong as well, and they are well established in the Premier League. Good experience. They played the Champions League 2 days ago, so it will be a great team, a great opponent. So we'll be underdogs, we'll be challengers, but I repeat, we'll play with ambition and desire.
Yeah, it will be difficult. I think these games always are, because there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of challenges for the players to overcome to make sure we enter the pitch in the right frame of mind and where we absolutely need to be, which is focused on how we play and what we need to do. But the arousal levels are absolutely key, because you can be too high, you can be too low. I don't think there'll be many too low in preparation for this game, but finding that place where the players play at their best is my challenge. And of course, you don't want the players to overthink things. It's a very important game, but we've got to focus on our performance. So all these things will be important.
Two managers that speak well, two managers that I think have done good this season. Even Eddie Howe, considering, yeah, it's such a
buzzing for this.
It's such a good fixture.
But you know when they played each other in the cup last year? That was last year, wasn't it?
That was last year. Newcastle won that, but
yeah, at a canter as well.
Yeah,
but very different sides now. But even that cup game, I remember I watched that whole game.
What round was that?
Third round, I think.
Third round.
It was early, wasn't it? Third or fourth
Okay.
round.
Yeah.
It was very early. But this is going to be electrifying. It's going to be a real raucous derby, and hopefully a throwback to the image that I was looking at there.
I hope it isn't raucous to the point where both sets of teams get a player sent off. The reason I say it is because Peter Banks.
A derby. You're supposed to get someone sent off.
No, you say that, but I don't want it to be a case of Sunderland won because Newcastle had a couple of men sent off. Peter Banks is the referee on Sunday. In 11 games so far this season, he's given 44 yellow cards, which is the joint third most, and 2 reds, which is the most.
Do you think Granit Xhaka gets booked?
1 gazillion %. Like, honestly, if Joe Linton's fit and Granit Xhaka are both on that pitch, can you imagine the tackles that are going to go in between?
Do you know what?
Even Tonali, Bruno's naughty, Gamarish is naughty.
Addy, we're all getting too precious. A derby of this magnitude, I want that.
No, but you've got to that's what I'm saying. He's got to let the tackles go.
Yeah.
Like, let the tackles go.
Yeah.
We'll know from the first couple of minutes. If he lets the first one go without a yellow card, then you know the referee's just going to let it go.
Talking about it like this, at the beginning of this, through the news, in fact, you and I were having a conversation off air. Biggest derbies in the country. Like, what are they really? And we were kind of having a chat. Having had this conversation now, I think we can conclude that it's this. This is the best derby in the country, isn't it?
This is the... I don't know.
But Arsenal-Tottenham's wet, isn't it?
Tottenham-Chelsea.
It's wet, it's soft, it's flat. It isn't like this. Like, I think Southampton-Portsmouth deserve a mention. Villa-Birmingham undoubtedly deserves a mention. You brought up Swansea-Cardiff. No doubt deserves a mention. But I think this is the one. This is the jewel in the crown of trying to take modern football and get in a throwback atmosphere.
And it will.
This is
you
it.
know what it is? They've got players that are throwback players. Like, again, that Newcastle midfield was almost a midfield that would be in the Premier League 20 years ago and be putting the tackles in. Yeah. And Granit Xhaka's certainly made of that stuff as well. It's going to be a good game.
Paolo Di Canio charging down. I'm looking at the old images here now. I've gone from 1967 at Roker Park. I'm now looking at Paolo Di Canio charging around at St James's Park. It's truly amazing.
It really is. Legendary former Celtic and Sunderland manager Martin O'Neill returns to talkSPORT this Monday morning after his successful interim spell in charge at Celtic Park. He's back with Jim White and Simon Jordan following Sunday's League Cup final between St Mirren and Celtic. I can see the image now. Paolo Di Canio looks sharp, doesn't he?
He looks
like
sharp.
Italian dress.
He looks so sharp. He's in an incredibly.
It's an Armani suit without a doubt.
Yeah, with the most garish red tie on, making a statement at St James's Park, going potty in front of the 3,000.
Right, can I read my thing?
Mate, I'm busy. I'm just getting caught up in derby fever.
It's a massive game for his successor, Wilfred Nancy, who has lost his opening 2 games since taking over. That's Celtic legend Martin O'Neill back on talkSPORT with Jim White and Simon Jordan this Monday morning from 10 a.m. and he's going to be reviewing the Wear Tyne derby as well. All right, let's get an update as to what's going on at the PDC World Championships. Let's go to Abby Davis.
Well, everyone was excited at the prospect of a thrilling night at the Palace, and the opening match has not disappointed so far. We are into a 5th and final set, and we could have an upset on our hands because Ross Smith, the number 12 seed, is in a spot of bother. After a bit of a slow start, he upped his level, producing some really delightful darts, winning set 3 with legs in 13, 14 and then 13 darts. A sustained spell of brilliance from Smudger to take him to the brink. He'd looked more and more in control as the contest had gone on, looked like it was going to be a foregone conclusion that he'd advanced to round 2 until needing to close out the match. Missed 6 match darts so far, and the battle-hardened Andreas Harrison pounced to take us all the way. The Ali Pali Wasp with the best seat in the house, perched on the collar of the shirt of an oblivious Ross Smith, just up until he had those match darts. So what impact was he having on all of this? It is into the final set now, and it is the Swede who leads by a leg to nil. You can catch all the action tonight on the talkSPORT app and the YouTube page.
PDC World Darts Championship update on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Hit the bullseye this Christmas with a darty party at Village. Enjoy flights of festive fun with our interactive darts lanes. Available at locations across the UK.
Me and Rory have been asking the question, is this Sunderland versus Newcastle derby the fiercest up and down the country? I mean, I guess the only people that are really going to know the answer are Sunderland and Newcastle fans. So we want to hear from you. 03717 22 3344. It's been nearly 10 years, a decade, since you met in the league. How much does this game mean to you? Come and have your say. 03717 22 3344.
latest episode of the greatest drama in the world. This is the Premier League.
Phillips is in the centre, and there's danger here for Sunderland. Oh, and a block by Tommy Wright. Phillips again, and Sunderland have scored. It's 2-1.
I want someone to be that hero. Scoring the winner in the North East derby, you become legendary status straight away.
Absolutely no hassle for Newcastle. It is finished. Sunderland 0. Newcastle United 3.
Yeah, it's a brilliant derby where Sunderland are not the runt of the litter. This is a resurgent Sunderland with a brilliant manager, with a young owner that's really proved himself to know what he's doing, or having people around him that are giving him good advice. I mean, they must be buzzing up in the North East.
Everyone excited about this game. Sunday. It is Sunderland versus Newcastle. Weird time derby. This is Thank Footballers Friday. Ade Oladipo alongside Rory Jennings. Your texts are coming in. Text us 81089. This one's come in regarding the biggest and fiercest derbies up and down the country. This one's come in from no names. It says not strictly a derby, but certainly feels like one. Man United versus Liverpool, biggest game in English football.
Manchester United versus Liverpool is the biggest game. Yeah. Of course it is. Yeah, but it's not a derby in the true sense of the word. It's a rivalry. And it's softer.
It is.
It's softer.
Yeah, because it's been diluted. Because it's been diluted. It's so many different fans, tourist type fans.
Yeah, exactly.
It's completely different. This one from Naf, and I guess this rings true, doesn't it? It's the only derby in England, Sunderland versus Newcastle, that can be in the same conversation as the Old Firm. Still nowhere near as big, but in terms of England, it's the only one worth talking about.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that entirely, but I kind of agree with the point that it's making. Look, Celtic Rangers in a complete league of its own. I think that can't be compared to anything else in football. I don't think, when people start saying to me, what about Boca Juniors River Plate? I'm like, no. The history in Glasgow is so different that Celtic versus Rangers is in a league of its own and can only be compared to itself. This one is different. This is different, and it isn't the only English derby that's worthy of conversation, but it's, as we established before, the jewel in the crown.
Yeah, Rob here says Millwall versus West Ham.
Yeah, Millwall versus West Ham is huge to them.
No, I think it's huge to a lot of people. Not just, we think it's only huge to Millwall and West Ham fans. I think people that have grown up and just watching English football understand how big and naughty that derby is.
Yeah, it's historic. It's historic. The links to football hooliganism over the years make it newsworthy. There's obviously a cinematic point of view thanks to the contribution of Nick Love that makes West Ham versus Millwall a thing. But realistically, I'm from North West London. I don't care about that fixture. I don't see it as a big fixture in the way that I do. Like Sunderland versus Newcastle, it's two historic cities going head to head. It's County Durham versus County Northumberland. It's so historic. There's such a difference between the two in terms of what they represent. There's a geographical rivalry. There's an economic rivalry in the way that Newcastle have become the capital of the North East and left Sunderland behind on some degree. It's so much more interesting than the fact that West Ham Millwall might inspire a thuggish element, isn't it?
I quite like that thuggish element sometimes. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Talking about Newcastle and Sunderland. Let's go to Brandon, Sunderland fan. Brandon, massive game. I mean, Regis Lebrie's done fantastic. You must be surprised just how good he's done in the Premier League so far.
Yeah, good evening, gents. How are you doing? You okay? I hope you're well. So, surprise is an understatement, to be fair. Obviously, we have done outrageously well so far. I think, surprisingly, not only are we where we deserve to be, because we've played wonderfully at times, I think it's more just due to the fact that I think this Premier League season is a bit wild in general. I think if you look all over the place, there isn't a lot of consistency going on. There aren't many teams who are picking up wins after wins after wins. I think the thing that's impressed me most about what we've done so far is we've picked up points, a lot of points from positions where we've been losing, or we've had 10 men, or just negative situations, really. We've picked up points from losing situations, which newly promoted teams haven't done over the last 2 years. Yeah. They haven't done it. I think it's happened twice over the last 2 years, which, realistically, it's not going to keep you up, whereas we've done a ridiculous start. The one thing I do want to say that you lads have just started talking about was the Celtic Rangers thing. So I just kind of want to put this into perspective from our point of view. So I agree with Rory that is in a league of its own, because I think it's a little bit bigger when it comes to religion.
Yeah, it's more than football, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah, exactly, of course. So I think the reason why I think this, in a way, kind of makes it bigger is the fact we don't have the religion. We don't have any of that. We just hate each other. Simple as that. We don't like each other. Forget the religion. Forget anything else. We don't like them. They don't like us. All right? And the thing for us is, lads, is I'm petrified for Sunday. Like, anyone will tell you that they're confident, all right? Sneakily, yes, I am confident, all right? But I'm still petrified, because losing to them, it's not worth your salt. I tell you, lads, it's a horrible, horrible, horrible feeling. The only way I can imagine it is when a boxer has boxed for 12 rounds and thinks he's won the fight or whatever, and the judge is just going, nah, give it to the other lad. It must be the most sickening blow in the world, because honestly, lads, I park about 2 miles away from the stadium, and just that, the thought of that walk back to that ground, back to that car, without a point at least, is not worth.
Would you take a point now? Something you can't admit on radio.
Brandon, can I just ask you something, almost for my own benefit here? Can you educate me? What is a Mackem? Like, what's the difference? Because, look, I've got an untrained ear here. My wife's from that part of the world, but I've got a really untrained ear. And to me, you all kind of sound the same, Sunderland and Newcastle. I can't really differentiate. But to you, there is a huge distinction in accent, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, so sorry, your partner, where's she from? Sorry.
She's from the north. She's from the northeast, Darlington.
Darlington, yeah. So I'm not far from there. I'm from Bishop Auckland. So I'm not necessarily a Mackem to say, but well, I am, because if you cut me, I'll believe it and white. All right.
Right.
So, but yeah. So in terms of an accent thing, what is a Mackem? A Mackem is someone who's from Sunderland. A Mackem is someone who's not going to say Howe. They're going to say Howe. All right. There's a few different things. All right. But the main thing about someone from Sunderland is they're a realist, and they're not someone who thinks they're entitled. Like, go to people from Newcastle there.
I was so scared, Brandon. I was so scared you were going to say something else there. Thank you for keeping it PC.
The main difference is we're not entitled.
Yeah, that's clearly, yeah. Great call, Brandon. Let's go to Derek as well, the Newcastle fan. Let's get his version of events. Derek, massive game, isn't it? I mean, you guys are starting to pick up a bit of form.
The biggest derby is your derby. And this is it. I am absolutely petrified. I'll tell you a quick story. There's a friend of mine who absolutely to his core more than I am, not saying something. And we played them when David Kelly scored. We won the champion in the second division. And he was white as a sheet, and I thought, if this lad stops one more minute in this game, he's going to have a heart attack. And from then, he just abandoned going to watch Newcastle play Sunderland. He can't do it anymore. It is so scary. I wish it was all and done with. When we drew them in the cup last year, I was at Baker Street ready to come home and get the bus, and I was bricking it when I found out we drew them in the FA Cup. I bricked it from then. That was in December. The minute the game started in January.
There, I asked Brandon, I'm going to ask you, would you take a point now?
I'll take a point now. This moment in time. I hate it. I can't stand it. I wish it was over and done with.
Derek, do you mind me asking? Without being
ask anything you want, I'll tell you the truth, yeah?
Go on.
Yeah.
I said ask anything you want.
Okay, right. Derek, do you mind me asking how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 67.
Perfect. Were you at St James's Park in 1990? You played Sunderland in a semi-final, and you were losing 2-0, and apparently there was a...
Yeah, I was there. I was there. Yeah.
How bad was that? What happened? Can we get your version of that night?
We just started badly. Sunderland scored through Gary Owers.
Right.
No, they scored through Eric Gates scored through Eric Gates. Gary Owers made the goal. Got a bad start, which couldn't get going, and it was a black grey horrible night, and we couldn't get going, and I thought there and then we're going to get beat because I just had the omens in the back of my head.
And I'm reading about this rivalry here. Newcastle United fans invaded the pitch in a failed attempt to get the playoff semi-final abandoned because they were losing 2-0.
If you're going to lose with dignity. That was embarrassing.
Well, it's absolutely fascinating, Derek. Great to speak to you. Thank you so much for the insight.
Great stuff, Derek.
This is the best rivalry in the country.
That's the rivalry. It really is.
You could hear the passion in Derek's voice there.
Yeah, no, the passion or the fear.
And isn't it amazing?
Petrified.
Derby goals. Isn't it amazing? We're talking about an event that happened in 1990. The fellow that we just spoke to was 67 years old, and he goes, bang. Knows who scored.
Because he invaded the pitch, probably, isn't it? That's it. All right, Game Day Live with Sam Matterface, Dean Ashton, Mickey Gray and Perry Groves on talkSPORT, 1:30 Sunday. Sam Matterface of all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and beyond, including Sunderland versus Newcastle, which kicks off at 2 o'clock. They'll be alongside Mickey Gray, who's a reporter at that game as well. All right, up next, we're going to be looking back on how the English sides have fared in Europe this week.
would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself. That seems to be the case with the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centrepiece of America's biggest sporting event? The first Super Bowl was held in 1967. Initially, the halftime show was a display purely for the fans in the stadium, with marching bands, dancers, and American patriotism for all to see. And that's what it was for
a season possibly of European glory.
Tillemans with the shot, guided into the bottom corner. Aston Villa are looking in control now of the race for a top 8 finish. 15 points in their 6 games in the Europa League as it finishes in Switzerland. Basel 1, Aston Villa 2. Curls it into the top corner, and Gabriel Martinelli. 6 wins out of 6 in the Champions League for the first time in Arsenal's history as they cement themselves at the top of the league phase.
Real Madrid 1, Manchester City 2.
Sadoi pulls it back, brilliant header, and the save, and then it's in from Jesus.
Well, Crystal Palace, they are in the mix for a top 8 finish. Just a point off the top 8, they would go up to 9th in the Conference League table.
Soboslai hits it beautifully. Liverpool lead with 2.5 minutes to go, and Liverpool close to winning in the San Siro again.
Yeah, almost perfect for English sides in Europe, apart from Chelsea losing to Atalanta and Newcastle being pegged back against Bayer Leverkusen. It was almost flawless. Ade Oladipo alongside Rory Jennings. Thank football. It's Friday. We are talking now about the Premier League sides in Europe, and there's a part of me watching how this is all unfolding, how our sides are doing very, very well, and there's a part of me that's like, okay, it's fantastic, Premier League sides are doing well, but we're of the age, Rory, when we remember how difficult it was sometimes going away to Ajax, how difficult it was playing like teams like Deportivo La Coruña. Remember them?
Yeah, they were.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I almost feel like I'd prefer the balance of European football, where an away win in Italy really meant something to come back. I actually hate the dominance of Premier League sides in Europe. Was it last season or season before where Brighton beat Ajax?
No, it was a couple of years ago.
Was it a couple of years
I
ago?
remember that one really.
And I remember thinking, huh?
Do you know, it's funny you mentioned that one, because that one really stuck out to me as something, as an example of what's gone wrong.
Where it's gone wrong, yeah.
Do you know there was another one? I remember, you know, when you think, when I was a kid, and obviously we're of a similar age, and anybody that is our generation will agree with this, Marseille was huge. Yeah. Do you remember that Marseille team? Jean-Pierre Papin, Abidi Pele. They were Basil Bolli.
Yeah.
They were an amazing team, Marseille. Huge stadium, great history.
Who done them?
Recent. Brighton. Brighton beat Marseille. I was like, hang on a minute, what's going on? Like, they shouldn't even play each other. Like, when you think about the insignificance of Brighton on these shores, and then they are going and beating a side like Marseille. Look, all credit to Brighton, and fair play to the system, and fair play to the players that are on the pitch or whatever. But that is a great example of how the money that is swilling around this Premier League is sort of destroying European football. Like sides like Steaua Bucharest, Benfica, Ajax, Marseille. They should,
like, sort of just cornerstones of European football.
Absolutely.
For like 4 decades.
Absolutely.
They've always been in European football.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And have been previous European winners. You know, like the vast majority of the clubs that I just mentioned, they have won the European Cup, and now they've got a situation where they can't compete. They just can't compete. I remember Ruud van Nistelrooy speaking about this. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy was manager of PSV, and his team were on course for the league, and it was all going very well for him in the Eredivisie, and then the January transfer window hit.
And everyone
his two goal scorers were Noni Madueke and Cody Gakpo. Suddenly, he has just lost his 2 players because the might and the finance of the Premier League put a great club like PSV in a situation where they just could not compete. They cannot hold firm against the English might, and the English might, sadly, isn't our football clubs anymore. It's just the amount of eyeballs on the Premier League.
Yeah, the fact that I think we and many believe, I know they're 9th in the Conference League table, I think many believe that if Crystal Palace get going, they could win the Conference League, having not been in Europe in my lifetime. So just what we're talking about. Let's look at the Champions League. Arsenal played 6-1-6. They looked really good.
See, there's dominance in itself. Yeah. There's ridiculous dominance in itself. I'm not saying
just because they're not a European powerhouse.
They're not a European power. Like Also, played 6, won 6 doesn't happen. Like when I was young, I remember Gabriel Batistuta scoring against them at Wembley. Do you remember John Carew?
Of course I do.
John Carew stopped them. John Carew was at Valencia, I think, stopped them. Like Arsenal, fair play to Arteta. I'm not taking anything away from Declan Rice. I'm just saying that there is clearly, the equilibrium is off. That Arsenal can play 6 games, win 6 games in Europe. Like that isn't how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be more jeopardy.
It's going to get worse.
No, it is.
If we think it's bad now, I mean, it's going to get worse. Like,
no, Ade, there's a problem, and you know this is a problem that we're going to touch on later in the show when we talk about the World Cup. But for now, I saw a tweet. You know the mayor of Manchester, isn't it, Andy Burnham?
Mm-hmm.
He put out something, and he was talking about his worry for the future of football. And I thought, why is nobody, particularly people in government with a bit of power, why is nobody talking about the here and now? Like, don't talk about this in the future tense. The problems around football, the amount of money that is effectively destroying the game, it's a current problem. You can't go, God, I'm really worried about the future of football. Like, open your eyes and look around now.
Yeah, look around now. Of the Champions League table, which I honestly, considering that Liverpool sort of won that and then got PSG, it means nothing to me, really. But Arsenal are currently first, Man City 4th, Liverpool 9th, Spurs 11th, Newcastle 12th, Chelsea, your side, 13th.
Yeah.
Is there a worry you don't make it through to the next stage? I mean, Chelsea in Europe, me and you were sitting here a couple of weeks ago and I was like, could Chelsea win the league? And to be fair, you shot it down straight away. And I think they lost their next game and they've been struggling since. But Chelsea in Europe, concerned?
No, because there's a luxury, isn't there? That you can, like, I think
you can almost finish 18th and get,
You know, Manchester City last year, they made it out of this group. They didn't win in this competition until December, and they made it out of the group.
Yeah.
So look, we've been abysmal in this competition. Really, we had a good win against Barcelona at home, but we haven't won anything away from home. Like we drew in Karabakh.
Yeah.
You don't deserve anything, and that's why I
finish. By the way, you can finish 24th.
It's ridiculous.
Yes,
do you remember the old style?
I hate this.
You know the old style group?
Wasn't you a fan of that, the old style group? Because I got a lot of stick for saying I prefer the old style.
What was good?
I like the home and away of teams playing each other, and I like that.
And what was good about the old style group? You know, if you had one bad result, so for example, in the old style group, if Chelsea had gone away to Karabakh and drew, that puts you like in deep stuck.
Yeah.
Like you're in real trouble there. In this current format, like we drew in Karabakh and it was almost incidental. It was like, we're going to be fine. We're obviously going to progress. Like what should happen, you know, the final day of this league that we're in, the final day of it when all the games kick off at the same time, that should be interesting. That should be, you know, full of jeopardy. You can see the positions moving.
But there is none.
But no, ultimately there is a problem with the power of the Premier League. And you're seeing it here.
Yeah, and we are. By the way, Maresca won Premier League Manager of the Month.
Maresca?
Yeah.
You're joking?
No, your gaffer won Premier League Manager of the Month.
Feels generous.
Yeah.
Feels very generous. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. We're not in a position where we can... He wouldn't have won it. I wouldn't have given it to him.
No, nor have I. Europa League table very quickly. Aston Villa currently third. And that's one trophy that we think they can win just because of their manager, Unai Emery, but just the way Villa are playing at the moment. I mean, they're flying high in the Premier League.
Do you think they're in a title charge? Like Premier League title charge?
No,
I don't think I do either. But maybe maybe we owe them more respect.
Yeah, I think we're being disrespectful to them.
Like why aren't they?
Because they won't get 90 points. They can't get 90 points. I don't think. I don't think they can.
They sit a point below Man City and 3 points below Arsenal.
Yeah, but we all know, and I think we've said this a few times, that Man City can go on a run where they win 10 in a row, which probably might not be true, but that's what we think.
If that's true, then
Villa, I don't think Villa can do that.
No, Villa can't do that, but there is also no proof that Man City can do that.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest in the Europa League, obviously, campaign as well. They're currently 11th. They beat Utrecht 2-1. Big win that for Sean Dyche.
Big win.
Big win for Sean Dyche.
I mean, this is the competition that they should probably focus on because they're not going to be relegated. You know, like that needs to be their first priority, of course. But I think they've won like three out of the last 5, something like that. So Forest are going to be fine in the league. They've already picked up some good wins in the league. They're going to be absolutely fine. But the dream of making it into Europe back-to-back seasons is probably looking unlikely via league position. They're kind of in that weird luxury situation where the league is secure. There is a ceiling as to how high it can go, but there is also a safety net as to how badly it can go. But they could really launch a sustained bid to win European silverware again. And you know, Forest, the history of Clough and what they did in Europe. You know, they're the only club in the world, aren't they, to have won their domestic league only once, but the European Cup twice.
There you go. Good stat there for Mr. Rory Jennings. Very quickly, back to the Champions League. We saw Man City go to the Bernabeu and beat Real Madrid. Real Madrid always favourites to the Champions League. I don't know if that's the case this season under Xabi Alonso. PSG, fantastic team, the current holders. Who's favourites for the Champions League? Like, when you look at it now, like, I think most would say Arsenal, but we don't because of their lack of history in Europe.
Yeah, I don't think...
Who is favourite for it?
I'm probably very foolish here, but I will just always go with proven track records. Like I know Manchester City looks slightly vulnerable, but when Pep Guardiola's involved in a conversation, I find it very difficult not to say Pep Guardiola, whatever the question. If Pep Guardiola's name is a possible selection for me, I almost automatically...
Is that because of the lack of Carlo Ancelotti? If Ancelotti was there...
If Ancelotti was still at Real Madrid, I think I would say that. Yeah, I think I would. Like Ancelotti's serial European Cup winner. You have to pay respect to somebody that has won that amount of European Cups as a manager and player.
Yeah.
But in this circumstance, I think it has to be Pep Guardiola. Who would be your shout? I find it difficult to look beyond Liverpool, by the way. I find it just because of the track
Liverpool
record.
could be having one of those seasons where they're awful in the league, like they were in sort of 04-05, and somehow they're doing something in Europe. They've got the experience, they've got Champions League winners.
Kirkes and Szoboszlai lifting it aloft in Budapest.
There you go. I like it. You like it. All right, let's get an update as to what's going on at the PDC World Darts Championship. Mark Wilson watching for talkSPORT.
Yeah, good evening, guys. What, again, we have just seen Ross Smith, the number 12 seed, has been dumped out by the Swede Andreas Harrison on debut. Ross Smith led by 2-1 and 2-0 in the fourth set. He also missed 6 match darts to win it by 3-1. Back came the Swede, who won 6 of the last 7, holding his nerve to pick up a famous victory and a win on debut. Andreas Harrison safely through to round 2. Smith, the biggest name casualty. Up on stage now, Rapid Ricky Evans. Lost the first leg to Hong Kong's number 1 player, Man Lok Lung, but then reeled off 3 on the spin, including a magnificent 134 checkout to take out the opening set. It's all live on the talkSPORT app and on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Ricky Evans leads Man Lok Lung by 1-0.
PDC World Darts Championship update on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Hit the bullseye this Christmas with a darty party at Village. Enjoy flights of festive fun with our interactive darts lanes. Available at locations across the UK.
All right, over on talkSPORT 2, it is half-time between West Brom and Sheffield United. No goals there, 0-0. But here next on talkSPORT, it's time for everyone's favourite segment. It's Too Good, Too Bad. Good evening, Thank Footballers. Friday, Ade Oladipo and Mr. Rory Jennings. The darts championship, talkSPORT darts championship. Did you watch it? Any interest in it?
Yeah, I love the
Dean
darts.
Saunders won it. Dean Saunders won it.
Right in the spirit.
Darren Bent was awful. Sorry, I feel bad digging out my...
No, you can't do that. You
It's really
can't do
bad.
that.
You know why I'm digging him out a little bit?
Why?
He's got his own set of darts. He practices every day. He nearly got beat by Natalie Sawyer. He doesn't play at all.
No, mate,
She
you
turned
can't
up
do
and she
this.
missed double five, I
You
think, to
can't
win
do
it.
this, Darren.
Sorry, Benny, I've just done it. Anyway, look, before I get in trouble, it's time for
Why
this.
were you not playing?
Too good?
Todd Bowley has become our sporting director. The man's never worked in European football before. So the fact that he's now in charge of this recruitment drive fills me a little bit with fear.
Too bad.
Going out and signing with Charleston, it's huge, isn't it? He will certainly score goals for them.
By the way, not for me to avoid the reason why I weren't playing. It's because I was playing poker with you in Prague.
We did have a good time.
We had a good time. We did
have a good time. I wasn't impressed with your Queen 6 cooling down all the way to...
All right, this is Too Good, Too Bad with me and Rory Jennings. Take it in turns to pick out one player we're looking forward to see play this weekend and one who desperately needs a performance like me on the poker table. Rory, let's start on the lighter side. Who are you looking forward to see play this weekend?
Granit Xhaka.
You know when you pick this, because obviously, look, our producer, Ollie Stevenson, told us to put the names. When you pick Granit Xhaka, I was like, what's wrong with him?
Am I right, though, now?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
This is the game of the weekend.
This is it.
It's the game of the weekend. It's the best game. It's the best game of the weekend by a mile. Granit Xhaka, in a moment like this, is just a dream come true. He is a player that lives for these moments. Everything about this derby will inspire Granit Xhaka. Like, he's going to shine.
I'd love to know his record in terms of yellow cards in Arsenal versus Tottenham fixtures. I think he's a bit... Yeah, that's my thing.
He could easily score as well. He could easily rocket one in from 35 yards.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with that Newcastle midfield, which isn't quite the same as what it was last season. The last season was the best midfield in the league. I don't think people think the same about it this season. He could dominate that midfield.
Is he the best midfielder on the pitch, form-wise? Yes.
Yeah.
Is he the best midfielder?
What?
If Granit Xhaka played for Newcastle, does he get in the team? Yes.
Does he?
Yes, I think he does.
I'm looking at my producer. Ollie, does he?
No, but they can't be normal. These Newcastle fans, they're never going to be normal.
He doesn't.
There we go. Of course he doesn't.
He's never going to say this.
Of course he doesn't. Yeah. Don't get anywhere near it, mate. Yeah. Well, what about you? Who are you looking forward to?
By the way, 7 yellows in 15 games, Granit Xhaka.
Good man. Mate,
in the derbies,
in a derby.
Arsenal, Spurs. He's going to get a yellow
When
card.
did we get so precious as a nation that we don't want people to be booked in a derby?
I don't want him to get sent off. I don't mind a booking. Don't get sent off.
Get sent off as well.
No,
get sent off is a derby.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Erling Haaland.
Why?
Because this is so bad. I can't have Arsenal in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I can't have Arsenal in the league.
Yeah.
And I need Erling Haaland to keep scoring, basically.
No, mate,
it's that simple. I need him to keep scoring.
I'm totally with you. I'm so on board.
I know Arsenal fans are going to hate. I'm going to get some texts right now, but I don't care.
Do you know I support 2 football teams now? It's a really weird situation.
Chelsea and City.
Since Chelsea have given up any kind of chance of winning the league or being serious contenders for a title, I basically support Chelsea and then whoever's playing Arsenal.
Yeah.
Whoever Arsenal are playing that weekend, I kind of support them.
Yeah.
Like I could get a season ticket in the Arsenal away end. I could just lend my support to whoever's coming to
Yeah,
the
just
Emirates.
cheer for them. Yeah. And I like Palace. I think we've all spoken about the job that Glasner's doing. They're starting to pick up injuries as well now. So initially I would have said this is a tough game for City, but now, with the fact that Foden's now decided to come to the party, he's been great this season. Cherky's looking good, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got all the tricks, isn't he? He's like what I used to like.
Yeah.
You know, them kind of footballers that
he's a maverick.
He's a complete maverick.
Plays by his own rules.
Whereas Erling Haaland, who's on 15 Premier League goals this season, I think will get number 16 and number 17 at Selhurst Park. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. All right, who needs a performance?
I mean, the answer is Mo Salah, isn't it? If Mo Salah is somehow gonna have the luxury of representing Liverpool again, an honour that shouldn't be bestowed upon him, in my opinion, he better play well. He better shine. He better do his bit for the team.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have a lot of eyes on him and a lot of pressure on him.
Big pressure.
He needs to play out of his skin.
Yeah.
And
I'm fascinated. Like, when the team sheets come out at 2:00 tomorrow afternoon, if he's starting on the bench, just like the headlines that creates, I'm fascinated. But if he does start, I think Brighton are in trouble.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's almost going to be like him against the world.
Okay.
He might even pass the ball to someone. We'll see.
I don't think he should feature, but we will see. We will see. What about you? Who do you think needs a performance this weekend?
Ibrahima Konate.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Mate, it's actually just... He actually played well against...
Mate, you're meant to
Inter
do
Milan,
this through the lens of realism, though, aren't you?
Yeah, no, but he's just... Like, I've been screaming for Joe Gomez to start, but obviously everyone keeps telling me he can't play 90 minutes, although there's a couple of games where we have seen 90 minutes. And if you're Gomez, you're thinking, give me a chance here. But Konate has been woeful.
Do you think he can find form?
Bad. I think he has to. He's out of contract at the summer. And look, he'll get a club. But Real Madrid have already decided they don't want him. I don't think on this form PSG will want him. And by the way, and I think people are forgetting this, even bigger, France World Cup squad. Like he'll probably go, but there's been a lot of talk about it could be him and Saliba starting now. It looks like Upamecano's in front of him. So he needs to get a move on for a variety of reasons. Out of contract and the World Cup squad. If he continues to play this bad, I mean, Didier Deschamps probably have a look at him and think, maybe we don't take him. Maybe we don't take him. So look, I think he needs a performance. I think Liverpool need a performance. And I think if he performs well against Van Dijk, they keep a clean sheet, they win a game 2-0. 2-0.
Sounds very optimistic.
2-0. You don't think Liverpool?
I think Liverpool can win the game, but you're talking about Konate keeping a clean sheet, Mohamed Salah putting in a work rate beyond... Like, this is just nonsense. Isn't it?
You know
it's
why?
like utter nonsense.
You know why? Against Inter Milan, it was almost like the backs against the wall, get a performance, and we did it. That wasn't easy, going away to Inter Milan.
No.
And we done that. Scored a goal, lucky, all right, penalty, and kept a clean sheet. So I think they can do it again and score a couple of goals. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, the second half of West Brom and Sheffield United is about to get underway on talkSPORT 2. Remember, it is currently 0-0. But up next, we're going to be looking ahead to the other Premier League games taking place this weekend.
For every good signing a club makes, there's bound to be a few that don't work out. And Man United have certainly had their fair share of those, especially since the end of their golden age under Sir Alex Ferguson. Here are just some of the Red Devils' worst signings since Fergie. First up, Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez joined United from Arsenal back in 2018 and became the highest paid player in the Prem. He'd averaged almost 1 goal every 2 games for the Gunners, but in his 45 games for Man United, he only managed 5 goals. Not what you want from a star striker. Next up, Radamel Falcao. He earned himself the nickname the Tiger for his sheer efficiency and the way he used to pounce upon the mistakes of defenders. But at Man United, he was way more pussycat than Tiger, to be honest. All he managed in 29 Man United games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone much worse for Jadon Sancho at Man United. Yeah, it would have been hard to outdo his Borussia Dortmund form, but 12 goals in 83 games is not great. Things got worse after a public fallout with manager Erik ten Hag. Sancho said he was being made a scapegoat. Ten Hag said there'd been a discipline issue. It all ended up with Sancho going back to Germany. Next, Erik ten Hag probably thought he was being smart in sticking to what he knew when he signed Antony from his former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian hasn't really been able to hack it in the Prem. Chances are Antony's Man United days are numbered. Next, the curse of the Man United number 7 shirt. Not an easy act following Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and George Best, but Memphis Depay was another striker who was apparently allergic to scoring for United. He scored just 7 in 53 appearances, a huge letdown since he'd helped PSV win the Dutch league just a season before joining. Last one, Angel Di Maria was set to be United's landmark signing when he joined in 2014, but 1 season later he was already on his way out. 4 goals in 32 games was just not good enough, given he'd broken the British record transfer fee when he signed. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the Prem for a while, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Eventful day in the Premier League.
Edge of the penalty area. Mateta! Low drive into the bottom corner. What a strike from Jean-Philippe Mateta.
The way his ball flicks into the area. Haaland suddenly heads it over the keeper. And that gets rid of all the frustration. But Pep Guardiola.
This is going to be Premier League football at full pelt. Live on talkSPORT.
It's a really big game, this one, isn't it? Really big game. Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. I think it's a big game because everyone now believes that Man City are in the title race, and they most certainly are. Thank Footballers Friday, Ade Oladipo alongside Rory Jennings. All right, we're going to go through the other Premier League fixtures this weekend now. We'll start with this one at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace, who sit 4th, by the way. I think some people forget that. They're balancing Europe and Premier League so well under Oliver Glasner. They take on a Man City side who've now started to play really good football, who sits 2nd, coming off that incredible win against Real Madrid. I like this game a lot. Crystal Palace obviously had to rest a few against Shelburne, which they won comfortably in the end, I think 3-0. So they should have enough to go again this weekend against a Man City side who went full tilt against Real Madrid.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. But I think you're right. There is just no room for error now. Every single time Manchester City play, they must win.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you have to say about Arsenal. That's why we now do have a title race. And this is the kind of fixture that could be a bit of a stumbling block for Man City. If Man City are serious about winning the league, and like you, I really hope they are, this is the kind of fixture that they have to win, they have to overcome. Like, we've seen them struggle against Palace before, haven't we?
Yep.
So this is the kind of fixture where they need to get it right. We've established already that Arsenal pretty much have a gimme against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Therefore, City have the tougher fixture. The pressure's on City. They've played Real Madrid. it's not going to be easy.
It's not.
City, good side. Palace, a very good side. Very good manager.
Very good side, but a team that's starting to pick up injuries. I mean, obviously, look, a lot of people will look at the spine of the team and they'll say, okay, it's Gahey, it's Wharton, it's Mateta. I think Munoz, the right back, who's basically like a right winger, has been fantastic.
Yeah,
honestly, it's been fantastic. Out injured.
Yeah.
Out injured. So it's players like that. I don't think they can. Other players can afford to lose 1 or 2 from their best 11. I don't think Palace can.
No,
everyone needs to be fit.
You're right. They don't have the depth, but what they do have to compensate is an excellent manager. Like when you think about what if you were to rank managers in the Premier League, I think you're putting Oliver Glasner incredibly high on that list. Like you think about what he's achieved, winning Crystal Palace their first ever piece of silver.
Pound for pound, value for money in terms of squad expense, number 1.
I don't think it's outrageous.
Yeah.
I don't think it's outrageous.
It's incredible. He's won them in the FA Cup.
He's won them the cup, and they've got such good players. Like I know Jordan Pickford is obviously going to be England's number 1, but Dean Henderson is an excellent goalkeeper, having an excellent season.
Yeah.
Like I like that Lacroix. We always talk about Gahey, don't we? We always talk about Gahey. Gahey's the man linked with Liverpool. Gahey's the man to save Liverpool. Gahey is now the man linked with Real Madrid. And I would agree that Gahey is the best defender at Palace, and I would actually say that he's the best of England's centre-half options.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But that Lacroix, who plays in the middle at Palace, good player.
Yeah, good player.
Good player.
He's built a really good squad of players. And it's funny because everyone talks about the formation because Ruben Amorim plays exactly the same formation. He's got it working.
Yeah, of course.
He's got it working fine in the same amount of time, if not less than Ruben Amorim. Crystal Palace versus Man City. Go on, scoreline prediction.
City have to win, and therefore they will. But I think it's going to be really tight. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Man City win.
Yeah.
You?
Same. I think 2-1, Haaland nicking a couple of goals. West Ham United versus Aston Villa. West Ham United have been hit and miss since Nuno Espirito Santo took over at the club. Aston Villa flying. I'm flying, but
we got
played
it wrong.
a midweek game.
We got it wrong.
What do you mean we? Don't put us together.
You and I moments ago. Don't try and deflect. You don't even know what I'm accusing you of yet.
Yeah, but I know when you add me into it, it's really you and you're just trying to help.
I'm going down, you're coming with me. Moments ago, you and I both together concluded that Aston Villa aren't in a title race. And I think that we should reconsider that position. No. I think we should reconsider that position. When you think about the ingredients that you need to launch a serious bid to win a title, what are they? Overall, an experienced manager, the infrastructure of a football club, brilliant players, experienced players, like whatever you think the metrics are to win a title. What one don't Aston Villa have? So they've got an elite level manager, no doubt. As a club, Aston Villa are a huge club with a rich history. Excellent players at the helm. What don't they possess that you think they need in order to be within the title race conversation?
Players that have won trophies. Players that have won trophies that have the experience of winning silverware.
That's not.
They don't have that. What, they have 1 or 2. That's it. Emi Martinez, obviously, as the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Tielemans scored a winner against us in a cup final.
Yeah.
So I think there are some. Maybe that's fair. Maybe that's fair. But then wouldn't you extend that to Arsenal?
Yeah.
Do Arsenal have enough winners?
And that's why we don't think Arsenal will get over the line. Isn't that the reason?
No, you and I. I mean, I think they are. I think they are going to win the league. I don't want them to win the league, but I actually think they are. But a reason that
at least Arsenal have been there in terms of being close to win the league 4 times.
Yeah, they have that experience.
So they've got that experience. Villa never. This is new territory.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Will they start to stumble when it gets to March and they've got to win every single game?
Yeah,
then we'll see.
There is a chance. But in terms of if you tick off a lot of the things that you need to win a title, Villa have a lot of them. Ambitious owners, elite level proven manager, a big club with rich history, the whole end in full voice. Like they do have a lot of what it takes. I'm going to reposition my original argument and I'm going to acknowledge that they are in a title race.
Okay, then. Okay, if they are...
And therefore they have to win this game.
I'm about to say that. If they are, then they go to the London Stadium and they beat West Ham.
They have no choice but to beat West Ham.
Do they beat West Ham?
Yes, they do.
Okay, scoreline?
I think they're going to put a bit of a statement out there. Off the back of beating Arsenal, I think they're going to put a bit of a statement out there. They're going to beat West Ham 3-0.
Oh, that's a statement. That okay. Then we revisit the conversation. They can
go to
an
away
that.
game. You beat Arsenal.
If they can win 3 games in a week, including the European game in the middle,
yeah, I agree.
It's a different conversation. West Brom, by the way, have taken the lead against Sheffield United. That game over on talkSPORT 2. Orna Hegowo with a goal in the 50th minute. Again, you can listen to that game right now live on talkSPORT 2. All right, Chelsea versus Everton, Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. It's weird, a couple of big 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday. Like you think Liverpool-Brighton's a TV game, Chelsea-Everton could be a TV game as well, but not the case. What are you thinking of this one?
I think this has got a Chelsea defeat written all over it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't feel confident at all. I think everything that David Moyes is exactly what we don't need to be facing.
Yeah.
Like, do you know when you think about what he's done, that when we saw Jack Grealish get a winner the other day, Bournemouth, right?
Yep.
It felt like such a moment. It felt like such a moment for Grealish because I think earlier in the week, David Moyes had said Jack Grealish doesn't score enough goals. For a player of his quality, for a player with his experience, for everything that Jack Grealish represents, he needs to be scoring more goals. And then bang. Just good management, isn't it?
Yeah. And they've got like different goal scorers. Obviously, look, ideally they want a number 9 that scores all the goals, but goals are spread out. Yeah. And obviously, good win against Forest.
And
Yeah, and that's off the back of getting smashed by Newcastle.
Do you know what? When we talk about David Moyes, do you know how much it annoys me when we talk about David Moyes and managers such as David Moyes? David Moyes represents a particular genre of managers, doesn't he? Tony Pulis, Sam Allardyce, David Moyes himself. That kind of manager, and I find it so infuriating. You know, when people are dismissive about their contribution to football and their knowledge in football, like people will be so much kinder to the likes of Graham Potter and Russell Martin, who aren't fit to lace David Moyes' boots. You know, they'll always see Graham Potter as being a progressive appointment, an interesting appointment, an exciting appointment, a forward-thinking appointment. And you're like, this geezer's don't know what day it is. David Moyes is the governor. David Moyes has been in the game for how long? And people don't give him any sort of respect.
20 years, isn't it? It's been a long time, David Moyes as manager.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the game all his life.
Oh, yeah, but as a manager, it's been a long time. Yeah.
It's pushing 3 decades, I imagine. And somebody like David Moyes deserves so much more respect than these kind of young hipster managers who talk about XG and all that nonsense.
Okay, well, you've got a young hipster manager in Enzo Maresca against David
Moyes. David Moyes will have an answer to what we offer. I'm really worried.
Yeah.
I've got a terrible feeling we're going to get beat at home by Everton.
Interesting. Chelsea versus Everton scoreline prediction?
1-0 Everton.
Really? Do you really think that?
Yeah. I've got a really bad feeling about it. I hope to be wrong, obviously. But you know what my predictions are like? They're always spot on.
Yeah, I know what you do. No, actually, they're clearly not.
I love how I nearly got away with that one.
Yeah, I was like, 1 second. We didn't do a score prediction for Sunderland versus Newcastle.
I really want Sunderland to win. I'm really passionate about Sunderland.
Why?
I just think it'd be amazing, don't you? It would just be.
No, I don't actually.
Who do you want to win?
Draw. I'm a fence it, yeah, because I think both teams. You know, we've had 2 callers who basically both said they'll take a point.
I'd love Sunderland to win.
That would be a massive statement.
I'd love Sunderland to win. Yeah, I mean,
massive statement.
I'm going to go Sunderland win 2-1.
Okay. Draw 1-1. Okay. 1-1. All right, let's get an update. Darts PDC World Championship. Ali Pally, Mark Wilson watching for talkSPORT.
Ricky Evans, the latest player through to the second round. He's just beaten Hong Kong's #1 Manlok Lung by 3-0, but he didn't have it all his own way. End of the second set, Manlok Lung had a double to win it and level up the match at 1-1. Evans stepped in, he hit tops to win it, and then he went on to win the third set in a deciding leg. He is through, Ricky Evans. All the action live on the talkSPORT app and on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Jan van Veen, European champion. He's up next. He takes on the Spaniard, Cristo Reyes.
PDC World Darts Championship update on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Hit the bullseye this Christmas with a darty party at Village. Enjoy flights of festive fun with our interactive darts lanes. Available at locations across the UK.
Some boxing tomorrow. Some big boxing as well. This one, 2 undefeated super middleweights, Diego Pacheco and Kevin Lele Saggio clash for the WBC silver and WBO international titles. A win for either would be a world title shot next. You can watch that live this Saturday, only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
All right, still got 4 more Premier League games to preview on Thank Football It's Friday.
The Premier League is back in session.
Clear through the middle, and Johnston's miles out. Square to Mbermo. 2-1 to Manchester United.
Kept in play. Semenyo! 1-0! So good to have the Premier League back live on talkSPORT.
Good evening, thank footballers. Friday, Ade Oladipo, Rory Jennings. By the way, it's now 2-0 to West Brom against Sheffield United, who are on a bit of a run, Sheffield United, but that's now come to a halt. Carlton Grant with the goal. West Brom are currently moving up to 14th, Sheffield United 17th, 6 points above the relegation zone, Sheffield United. Imagine both Sheffield teams going down. Yeah. I mean, Wednesday are gone, aren't they?
Terrible.
Wednesday are definitely gone.
That's a horrible.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Premier League is better with both of them in the Premier League. Certainly Sheffield Wednesday.
You said that about everyone.
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't say it about Brighton.
Get rid of Brentford, get rid of Bournemouth, get rid of Brighton.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't say it about everyone. I get rid of a lot. There's a dream Premier League and Sheffield Wednesday are in it.
And Sheffield United?
Maybe, but definitely Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Chris Waddle times.
Yeah.
All right, let's run through the other games in the Premier League this weekend and Monday. A game on Monday, exclusively live on talkSPORT, 8 p.m. kickoff. Manchester United against Bournemouth. Man United I still can't quite work out Manchester United.
Unpredictable, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict.
It must drive the fans mad. You don't know if they've decided to get a couple of runs together in a few games. Like Wolves. Remember it went 1-1 at time, didn't it, at Wolves? And you're thinking, surely you're not going to get beat by Wolves. And in the end, they run out of winners comfortably 4-1. But
do you know where I've made a mistake with Manchester United? Over the say last year, when people would ask me my prediction for Manchester United, I was still conditioned by what Brian Robson represented, by what Eric Cantona represented, by what Ryan Giggs. And people go, Manchester United are home to Bournemouth, Raw. How do you think that goes? And I would go, well, Man United win that because they're Man United. Man United win that because they're going to find their feet. And I kept getting it wrong. Every time I would say that it's going to be all right for Manchester United, I'll be thinking of the history of the club rather than analysing this inept manager that they've got at the moment. And therefore, I'm not going to make that same mistake, and Bournemouth are going to batter them.
No, Bournemouth surely won't go to.
They will. They will.
You know, Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth are a team. I still feel like, and look, I don't want to criticise Andoni Iraola because obviously fantastic manager who's doing magic with his hands tied behind his back. He lost the whole back line last season. They can't buy a win right now, Bournemouth. But I feel like I'm conditioned to thinking that they win every single game, and they simply don't. Bournemouth have really been struggling this season in the Premier League.
What you just said there, though, is an oxymoron. Bournemouth can't struggle in the Premier League because they're not a Premier League club. It's actually a miracle that they're in the Premier League.
Okay, but how long do you have to be in the Premier League for you to consider them a Premier League club?
Never.
I see. This is where you.
Never.
Silly.
Have you been there?
Of course I have. I've done the game there last season.
Yeah, mate,
I know there's more people.
Infrastructure-wise, it's
the Real Madrid training ground, basically.
Yeah. Like there's probably more people at my 21st birthday.
yeah, that's so stupid.
No, look, the infrastructure. Andoni Iraola is a genius because he's at a club that is infrastructure-wise a League One club.
Yeah.
So the fact that they are in the Premier League is an achievement in itself. That's the success. There's no more success to be had. They are a Premier League club. They're going to play Manchester United. That's beyond the wildest dreams of any fan that was there from day dot. Beyond their wildest dreams. They're going to play at Old Trafford in the league. That's nonsense. That in itself is a concept that just defines who they are and how good they are at the moment, because that is success.
Yeah.
Can they go there and win? Yeah, I think they can. But you are right. They're struggling at the moment, but so they should be. Partly because they're Bournemouth and partly because they sold all of their assets in the summer.
Yeah, you're right. Andoni Iraola is struggling right now. Semenyo could be leaving, by the way, in January. I mean, obviously, he's a player that could cause them so much problems, Man United, on Monday, but he's a player that could also go. He's
such a good manager, isn't he? Is Iraola, pound for pound, the best manager in the league? You know, when we were talking about Glasner. You think Glasner's better?
Yeah.
Based upon the trophy?
Yeah. Based upon the trophy and based upon Crystal Palace, in my lifetime, have always been a team, even when in the Prem, regardless of how good they've done, they're 12th. Like, regardless of how good they are, you look at the table, 12th.
Palace have had their moments over the years, though. Bournemouth have had none.
Yeah.
Like, Bournemouth are a far smaller club than Crystal Palace.
But you see, okay, you know what happened? See, look, this is the difference. And this is not an Iraola dig, but when Gahey was going to be sold to Liverpool, Oliver Glasner went nuts.
Yeah, and they didn't sell.
I'm not accepting it. Like, I don't know, the hierarchy at Bournemouth have almost just accepted that. Or they can go. Yeah. They can go.
Iraola, they just pulled the rug from under him.
Yeah, like, okay, you're going to lose him, and you're not going to replace them with anything.
Do you think he's on course, Iraola, for like a top club?
Yeah.
Like proper.
I think
like Real Madrid kind of club.
Yeah, I think it'll be very similar I don't think he's obviously not got the name power as much as company, but I think people look at him and think he's done everything he could. Give him the players. He must be looking at what Arne Slot's doing and think, give me that. Give me those squad of players and let's see what I can do. Go on in, scoreline prediction.
I think Bournemouth win 2-1.
Okay, Man United win 3-1, I think. Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham. Both teams got good wins in Europe. Nottingham Forest 2-1 to Utrecht, and Spurs won 3-0, didn't they, to Slavia Prague? Or 3-0. How do you think this one plays out?
Difficult. Really difficult one to predict this. Like Tottenham fans, I rate Thomas Frank. I thought Thomas Frank was a really good appointment.
Rate or rated?
When they brought in Thomas Frank, I have to be honest, I thought it was such an astute appointment. Yeah. I found it frustrating. I actually thought Tottenham finally got it right. It'd be so easy for me now.
You're not judging him too quick here. Doesn't it not take time?
It does, but there are certain things that don't. So, for example, performing against Arsenal. You're not winning against Arsenal. Turning up against Arsenal. Turning up against Chelsea at home. Like 2 of their biggest games of the season. Chelsea at home, Arsenal away. They just didn't turn up for either of them. And they went to Arsenal, didn't they? They played effectively a back 7.
Yeah.
That isn't really...
They waved the white flag.
You know, Tottenham fans, they believe in the culture of the club. They believe in the history of the club. They believe in the Tottenham way. They believe that the game should be played in a very particular way, expansive. Do you remember the famous 5, Dumitrescu and all of that, Ginola running down the wing? This just doesn't feel like a fit. And I'm inclined to say, give him time. He's a good, proven manager.
Absolutely.
But when I talk to my mates who are Tottenham fans, they've had it. They've really had it. Which
I think they're still scarred from Postecoglou. They're like, if it's not working, get rid. But I think he's got a chance. Go on then, Sean Dyche versus Thomas Frank. Who wins?
I feel like Dyche is the worst person to come up against in this moment, don't you? For Thomas Frank.
I just think Spurs away, it's just not a great...
But if you think about Sean Dyche, the way that he sets his team up, they're so conditioned to give this Tottenham team, this slightly vulnerable Tottenham team, a problem. I think Forest will beat them.
Yeah, I see a draw here.
It's such a hard place to go there.
I'm more leaning to Forest as well. Burnley versus Fulham. God,
Mate, I'm not watching that.
Mate, I'm about to say, that's just
I will
disastrous.
I'm not watching that.
As soon as I read it out, I was like, oh.
It's Scott Parker Derby.
Yeah.
I don't know, Addy.
That is actually crazy. You know what's crazy? The producer just said in my ear, that's on TV.
Really?
That must be the lowest.
What's on the other channel? Yeah, I will go.
How can Liverpool Brighton not be on TV?
I'll go for a 1-1 draw. In fact, I think Burnley will win. Marco Silva, Burnley will win.
You think that?
Yeah, Burnley will win. If Burnley are to make any fist of survival, they have to beat Fulham at home.
Yeah, I think Burnley won't make a fist of it. I mean, they're 5 points off Forest, but they're second bottom in the league. Burnley have won 3 games all season, so you're thinking they're going to win their 4th.
Yes.
Won't be easy against a Fulham side who can play football but haven't really done so far this season. Brentford versus Leeds United, another game that is live on TV.
Brentford versus Leeds is interesting, isn't it? Because Leeds have found a little bit of form. They obviously beat us and they took a great point off Liverpool. If Leeds are to survive, it means that they have to pick up some points on the road. It can't just be totally reliant upon what happens at Ellen Road, right? They've got to find some points on the road. You'd look at Brentford away as one of those potential... Like, it's not going to be easy. Going to the GTEC's not easy. Keith Andrews has surprised me. He's got them playing really well. There's such a
by the way, where do they keep finding these forwards from?
I know.
Who's heard of Igor Thiago before? All of a sudden, he's got 11 Premier League goals. I'm not joking. I'm being very honest. I've never heard of him before.
They're brilliant at this, aren't they? This is the game that they excel at. But if you're a Leeds fan, this is the kind of fixture that you have to look at and think, right, we have to pick up points there. Like Leeds, if they're to survive, Brentford away is where they can't get beat.
Yeah, but I think Brentford would also be looking at Leeds thinking this is where we get our points from.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But Brentford won't go down. There's almost more on it for Leeds.
I think that's an incredible statement, isn't it? Brentford won't go down. Because I know for a fact when everyone was doing their predictions for who will get relegated this season, Brentford was one of the first names on the sheet.
Certainly said that. I certainly said that. Yeah. I think this has got a draw written all over it. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. What do you think?
I think Leeds will get beat. I'm not fooled by the fact that they came back and were 3-3.
Do you know during like the American elections? I think during the American elections, there's a state that always gets it right. I forget what it is.
Iowa.
Is it Iowa?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever way Iowa votes.
Yeah. Or is it Red Sox? I remember, but it's always like guaranteed.
Yeah, Iowa will always vote with the ultimate winner, right? Yeah. I think that, and you can basically find out how Iowa get on, and then that's how you know the election will get on. Find out how Leeds get on at Brentford, and that will tell you whether Leeds survive or not.
Well, look at you.
Leeds get beat at Brentford, they go down.
Right, the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily Podcast is available now as Jeff Stelling and Gabby Bonlahor discuss whether Leeds fans owe Daniel Farke an apology and if we're seeing the beginning of Arsenal's title collapse. If you want to hear more, then the talkSPORT Daily is available on all podcast platforms. All right, over on talkSPORT 2, currently there's exclusive action from the Championship. It is West Brom 2, Sheffield United 0. And we can now join the action with former West Brom winger Mark Albrighton and your match commentator Joe Shilling.
On the near side will take it as we welcome listeners from talkSPORT. West Bromwich Albion 2, Sheffield United 0. West Brom have been outstanding in the second half and they've scored 2 beautifully crafted goals. Auna Hegebe scored the first, set up the second for a blockbuster of a finish from Carlan Grant. And Sheffield United, unbeaten in 6 at the start of the night, have offered very little in response, Mark Albrighton.
Yeah, I've been really disappointed with them, I'll be honest with you, especially in the second half. I think first half they showed glimpses of what they can do, but just didn't have that clinical edge. But second half, it's been all West Brom, and Sheffield United haven't been able to get close to them, let alone create any kind of opportunity to score a goal.
18 minutes to go here, and the best way to be across all of the action, all of the live football on the network, 50 live games in the month of December, is to download our app. West Brom go long down the inside left, out comes goalkeeper Cooper, slices the clearance out of play. I thought for a second that was going to drop into the commentary box, not quite. It's a West Brom throw near side to left. They lead Sheffield United by 2-0. And on the halfway line for West Brom.
Next, we're going to look at the big issues surrounding ticket prices at next summer's World Cup. Stick with us on Thank Footballers Friday.
Who would have thought a sporting event's halftime show could have a bigger impact than the game itself? That seems to be the case with the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2024, Usher brought in an audience of 180 million worldwide, the biggest in the event's history. But how did singing and dancing get to be the centerpiece of America's big...
Good evening, thank football. It's Friday. Ade Oladipo alongside Mr. Rory Jennings. talkSPORT is proud to bring you a brand new podcast, How to Win the World Cup. Join comedian Matt Ford as he looks to discover the answers behind what it really takes to win the World Cup. This week, Matt is joined by World Cup winner Emmanuel Petit and the man who takes personal credit for all of Germany's football successes, comedian Henning Wen. It may only be episode 1, but they've already uncovered what's stopping an England World Cup victory.
We are the example, the French team, when we won the World Cup in 1998, we were all great players, but there were only one player on top of it, Zidane. Zidane was our leader on the pitch. He was the masterclass player, This is probably what has been missing for England for years. They're all great players, but they need one player on top of them.
Do England have that? Is it Bellingham? Is it Cole Palmer? Is it Harry Kane?
You tell me.
Elliot Anderson. As a Forest fan, I say it's Elliot Anderson.
I have no idea.
I always thought the last few years, what's holding England back is having a captain who has never won anything. So therefore I've obviously never been in a situation like that. But I guess if you're in a dressing room and it's the World Cup semi-final, final, and then you have got, and your skipper has never won anything. So, and then he says, this is how we have to do it. You've got to be sitting there thinking, but you've never done it. How will you know?
Yeah.
So, and now with Kane having won the league in Germany, that's probably a tiny step in the right direction, that now we can say, well, but at least I've won something.
Yeah, make sure you go and check out How to Win the World Cup podcast. It's available on YouTube, the talkSPORT app, or your favourite podcast provider. We'll say this, though, about Zinedine Zidane. Obviously, look, incredible. Zizou, fantastic player. There are other good players around as well. That midfield partner, Patrick Vieira, peak Patrick Vieira. Up front, Henry, peak Henry. Incredible team, that French side. Incredible team. Yeah. All right, let's talk about World Cup ticket prices. Everyone has been speaking about... Is he Rio Ferdinand on this, by the way?
You mean man of the people?
Man of the people. Man of the people, Mr. Rio Ferdinand, when he was quizzed about the World Cup prices, I'm from Peckham, a man of the people. This is the World Cup, this is at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Group stage fixtures all had set prices of £68.50, £156.40 or £219. World Cup final ticket prices, and look, this is a conversation that we're going to go back and forth with, I know, because I know where you're going to go with it. Supporter value tier, £3,119. Supporter standard tier, £4,162. Supporter premium tier, World Cup final ticket price, £6,615.
£3,200 per minute of the match. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just painful. You're looking at what, $3,500 for a final ticket.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable what's happening here.
But to be expected, no.
To be expected because of the direction of travel that football has gone in. But it's scandalous. It's absolutely scandalous. And everybody that is involved in allowing this to happen is complicit. It's a disgrace what's happening. And the fact that Keir Starmer, who is our Prime Minister, has opted out of being part of a campaign to stop this is absolutely disgusting. Like, I'm not making it political. I don't talk about politics, but this is sport. Surely somebody with a bit of power needs to back up football fans here. Football fans are, 1 million people a week travel to support their football team. They contribute to the economy. They contribute to the infrastructure. They make the Premier League one of the best leagues in the world, and they have totally been sold down the river here.
Yeah. Comparing the prices, by the way, very quickly to Qatar and obviously the World Cup in the US. As I mentioned, Qatar prices, group stage prices, was £68.50. The cheapest.
Oh, mate, I went to Qatar. I'd even cheaper. It's unbelievable. This is 4 times dearer.
Yeah, £198 the cheapest for England versus Croatia and Scotland versus Brazil next year. £198 the cheapest ticket.
Yeah, I
that's an incredible jump, isn't it? It's an incredible hike.
I think it's so demoralising. It's so sad that it's getting to this. It's so sad that football fans can be totally ripped off, and nobody seems to really care. Like people that could protect us.
Isn't that because it's across? And this is not me sticking up for it at all. It's across all sports now. Like top tier sports. Isn't that just the thing now? So there is no working class sport per se. Like American football. Similar prices, by the way.
I always think it's a real nonsense argument. You know, when people try and compare like the price of the FA Cup final to the price of the Super Bowl, or the price of the Champions League final to the price of the Super Bowl, it's completely different.
Why?
The culture around the clubs are completely different. Going to football is a rite of passage for millions of people. Going to football, you go every week. You don't compare one ticket. You go to one Super Bowl. You follow Chelsea for 38 games a season.
Agreed, but Americans listening will say, 1 second, the NFL is that. They look at the NFL as, like, they think it's bigger than church on a Sunday.
Yeah, and the culture is very different.
Very different. Obviously,
how many away fans travel? How many New York Jets fans go and watch the equivalent? That's the only team I know. But how many New York Jets fans go and play an equivalent team somewhere else?
But
they don't travel. They don't have a culture of travelling. They don't follow in the way that football fans in this country do.
Well, we have a different travel, isn't it, though?
Pardon?
You're talking about travelling states, 12-hour travel.
Yeah,
20-hour. Just
following your team in Europe.
Yeah,
following your team in Europe is exactly what we do in this country. Yeah. England will take huge amounts of fans to this World Cup, and it is such an example that football's broken. It's so sad. It's such a sad state of affairs that ultimately we are ripping off football fans, and nobody seems to really care. You know, Keir Starmer won't care. He'll get a freebie, won't he? If England get to the final, he'll have a freebie. But the fact that he has opted out of trying to side with England fans here, I just think it's an absolute disgrace. Like $5,000 to follow your country. Like football is supposed to be this coming together. Football is supposed to be almost higher than politics. It's a coming together of nations to celebrate a representation of yours versus a representation of theirs, and everyone competes. And it's supposed to be this sort of glorious moment where people come together to celebrate their nation, competing against one another, and trying to win the Jules Rimet, one of the most iconic and beautiful trophies in the world. And it's become this almost capitalist venture now, where we try and extract and squeeze football fans for every single penny.
In some of these big games, and look, we've been lucky enough to have been at some of these big games, there seems to be more people in suits than there are football fans.
Yeah.
It seems to be more corporate. Yeah, it seems to be more
football fans. Yeah. Let's face it, loyal football fans, the true essence of the game, have been totally and utterly sold down a river.
Yeah.
Like actual football fans. And you know what? Like, we'll be all right, Ed. The sad thing is, you will be all right and possibly get a ticket if you want one. I will possibly be all right and get a football ticket if I need one. But when I went to the World Cup in Brazil, I saved up, I quit a job, I was staying on a mate's sofa who was working out. You know, it was all like ducking and diving, going to Belo Horizonte to watch England play Costa Rica when we were already out of the competition. Nobody would have cared about me then. I wouldn't have got a ticket. It's actually a travesty. And I just think that the Prime Minister's not going to do it. He's already opted out. Somebody far more powerful than us needs to do something here. Like the head of the FA, somebody needs to say, this can't happen. Like, England have a decent chance of winning this competition. And the people that should be there, who are the people that go to Wembley when England play at Wembley, go to San Marino when England play in San Marino, go and follow England home and away and spend a lot of money and a lot of time and commit their lives to following their nation, they're not going to be there.
One person who might be able to do something, and I doubt it, I don't think anyone can do anything, to be honest with you, is Thomas Concannon, who is the Football Supporters Association spokesperson. This is what he said about the ticket prices for the FIFA World Cup.
We knew the prices were going to be high. I really didn't see them being this high. That price for the final in particular, which England fans are used to paying in advance, just in case we get there, is absolutely astonishing. You know, £3,200 is effectively what that's going to cost. That's £35 a minute. It's just absolutely astonishing. $7,000 to follow England right from the start to the finish. They didn't need to do this. They could have looked after the participating nations, even though they're not looking after general admission and selling the prices to the American market as they wish. They could have looked after the supporters of the nations that follow them through thick and thin. And they haven't done that. They've actually made it even worse. And England fans are paying more than what other countries are. They've weighted the countries in terms of popularity It's just completely unacceptable. It's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, Thomas Concannon there from the Football Supporters Association speaking to Sam Matterface a bit earlier. On those prices, again, just to remind you what the prices for the World Cup final are. Supporter value tier, which is the lowest, by the way, £3,119. Supporter standard tier, £4,162. Supporter premium tier, £6,615, and you don't even want to think what the black market's going to be. People trying to flog tickets as well. It's just insane.
Oh, it's a disgrace.
Do you
know the worst thing about it? Like, I'm really looking forward to this World Cup. Like, America, I have great memories of the American World Cup from when I was a kid.
Yeah, 94
like,
World Cup.
Obviously, England weren't there, but I remember watching
Ross missing the penalty.
Ray Houghton scoring against Italy, New York City.
Yeah,
like, America is
fantastic.
America's such a great country. Like, England are playing in Texas. Like, I'd love to. You know, it would be such an amazing experience to go, and ultimately, so many people are going to be deprived of going because it's just through the roof. And Infantino here has effectively turned his back on the most loyal fans. And it's not only England fans here, by the way. This is a problem. I imagine that this is an issue for fans of Jordan who are going to their first ever World Cup. I imagine that this is an issue for fans of France who want to follow their team but ultimately can't afford it. Because who on earth can drop, and you have to drop it now, by the way, on the off chance that you get there. So FIFA get all this money in. They give you a refund, but they get all this money in now that they hold on to.
And by the way, I mean, hotel prices will be extortionate, and obviously they're going to be through the roof.
No, but that's different because that's kind of fair market.
No.
This is
FIFA. No. That's not fair market.
No, FIFA have a responsibility to football fans. Hoteliers do not have a responsibility to football fans. FIFA can somehow make life as easy for football fans as possible, and charging them 3.5 bags of sand in order to go to a game in order to potentially go to a game that they might not even have to go to, but they have to stump up the money now. It's just so bang out of order. And this is now going to chime with the point that we were talking about earlier, Ad. You know when people talk about the issues in football, and like I say, I saw that tweet from the Mayor of Manchester, Andy Burnham, and he was talking about like the future tense of the direction of travel for football and how there is going to be a problem if we don't look to solving it soon. Like, why on earth is this being positioned as something to happen in the future?
Okay. If I were to ask you, and obviously, look, this is is people way beyond our pay grade. How would you solve the issue? What can be done when the clubs are owned by venture capitalists, businessmen from out of the country who have no direct connection with the club? Remember, it's the government. But people say they don't want government involved in football. I've heard that numerous times, that they don't want government involved in football.
Yeah, ultimately you don't want that, but it's a lesser of two evils. I think that you need restriction. You need restriction. These are institutions that need to be protected. And this is when we're talking about the Premier League. Yeah. And, we've done it before. You think, like, away ticket prices cost 30 quid. They cost 30 quid because of the brilliant work done by the Football Supporters Federation and people such as Robbo, who's at the Spirit of Shankly.
Yeah, Gareth Robbo.
Fighting for football fans. It's very important that someone takes up that fight. But ultimately, nobody seems particularly bothered. And there's no way Infantino's going to do it.
No, you are correct. All right, look, we want to hear from you on the World Cup ticket prices. Will you be going? It'd be very interesting if you are listening right now and you are going to the World Cup and you've heard the prices. Be interesting to know why you're going when they're so highly inflated. 03717 223344. Come and have your say.
Step up to the Oki and win the ultimate VIP darts experience on talkSPORT.
Good evening, thank football. It's Friday. Ade Oladipo Rory Jennings, you heard it there. The PDC World Darts Championship is now underway, and just 1 week to go. talkSPORT and Pitch Experiences are giving you the chance to be there at the event of the year on the 23rd of December. You and three mates could be living at large with the platinum seats, fine dining, a complimentary bar, and exclusive access to the 501 lounge with Russ, The Voice, Bray. Then it's straight to your prime arena table for the best view in the house. Get ready for an unforgettable Ali Pali Christmas. Here's how to enter. For your chance to win, just text the word darts to 83338. That's darts to 83338. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate, or you can give us a call 0343 4217 508. Lines close 4 p.m. the 18th of December. That's when you need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. So for your chance to win, text the word darts to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. All right, speaking of the darts, let's get an update as to what's going on. Abby Davis is at Ali Pali for us.
Yeah, what an enthralling night we are being treated to here at Ali Pali. Number 12 seed Ross Smith dumped out in the opening match of the session by Andreas Harrison after missing 6 match darts. Rapid Ricky Evans has started his campaign with a 3-0 win, but it was anything but comfortable. A controlled opening set where he averaged a ton, but he was tested in the subsequent 2 and has just told me in our post-match interview that he split his trousers while celebrating the victory. There's a mental image we all needed on this Friday evening. Currently, though, it is third favourite for the title, a number 10 seed, Jan van Veen, who is in action and looking very, very good against a returning Cristo Reyes. He leads by 2-0 early on in the third, and you can catch all the action on talkSPORT's YouTube channel and via the app for the rest of the evening.
PDC World Darts Championship update on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Hit the bullseye this Christmas with a darty party at Village. Enjoy flights of festive fun with our interactive darts lanes. Available at locations across the UK.
Just before the break, we're having a conversation about the World Cup ticket prices. Just to remind you of those prices for the final. Supporter value tier, just over £3,000. Supporter standard tier, just over £4,000, and supporter premium tier coming in just under £7,000, which is incredible. A few of you have got in touch. Lee, the Man United fan, based in America, is on the phone now. Lee, these are extortionate prices, aren't they?
You know, what I really find surprising is that you guys find it surprising. That's really surprising.
In what sense? Do you mean in terms of that being normal in the US for ticket prices?
It's extremely common.
Wow.
To go and watch a football match. So if I wanted to go and watch Atlanta play, to go and watch a football match, it would cost close to $3,000, would it?
Well, not necessarily. Now the World Cup is a bit like different from the domestic, like sports.
Of course,
yeah. But at the same time, you have, we have what we call scavengers. Like small companies who purchase a certain amount of tickets, and even though the actual ticket is say $50, they would buy those seats, resell about $75 each.
Yeah, we've got that over here. In terms of obviously you're based out there, Lee. Compare this to, I don't know, the ticket price for an NBA Game 7 or a Super Bowl. How different is it?
Extreme. Oh, extreme. Even if you get nosebleed seats at the very, very top, it'll cost you, thousands of dollars. But to us, it's normal. You guys in England have, the 3 p.m., shutdown. Why? To promote local teams, to encourage. We are 100% capital. And that's how we think, It sounds bad, but that's how we are in America compared to England, where, you guys have laws that protect the lower leagues. You have the FA. We don't have that in America. In America, it's if the teams are going down, can we make money off of it? If not,
Lee, with those prices, and not the final price, not the final ticket prices, but the prices for the group games, would you be going? Would you be willing to pay that amount of money to go and watch a game of football?
I will scavenge, just like everybody else. Someone will post a different, like price. I mean, like, it's a game that we all like play here. I really do feel bad for, like the people who are coming from different countries, especially for the ones who recently just like qualified, who never get to like experience, and even may not. I really don't know how to say this, but to us, it's very like normal. I expect it to even be more than the prices that we're seeing now.
Wow. When you say normal, what normal? So to go and watch LA Galaxy play will cost you $3,500.
Of course. I mean, we accept it. We complain about it, but at the end of the day, we accept it.
Okay.
That's crazy.
There we go. I have no idea. I have no idea whether that's true or not.
Well, it could be. It actually could be
I
like
find
a normal NBA game, floor seats.
I don't care.
I know what I'm saying, but
who cares what the NBA costs?
No, because he's saying it's normal.
No,
and it is
but
normal.
what I'm saying is, stop comparing other sports. Like, this has got nothing to do with
you've got to compare sports in America. I know you're saying this because the World Cup's in America.
But certain sports represent different things. If an American football game was happening here, I wouldn't go, well, we pay a lot of money to play polo here.
No, polo is not a national sport.
Exactly. So what difference does it make? You're telling me how much people will pay in America to watch a basketball match.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that if the NFL is being played here, what are you going to compare it to? The price of, you're just making up sports. I can go, oh yeah, well, the rugby costs this here, or the polo costs that here. It doesn't matter. Compare football prices with football.
Okay, compare football prices with football. How much is the Champions League final ticket? How much is a Champions League final in like the VIP seats? And how much is that?
Yeah, but you're comparing VIP. What I'm saying is compare the flat rate of a ticket, which is the most loyal fan, the fan that gets their ticket via the FA because they have accrued the right amount of caps to get a ticket.
Yeah.
That won't be over £200.
No, it won't be. Yes.
That won't be over 200. No, it won't.
No, I'm saying it won't be.
Yeah, it won't be over £200. So we're being extorted in America.
Yeah. All right, let's quickly go to another caller, Rob, the Villa fan. Rob, these ticket prices, crazy, but you just heard there from Lee in America, normal for him.
Yeah, evening, guys. I think, so I'm part of the England Supporters Club, and I go to every single game at Wembley. I'm there every night, get home 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and as part of the Supporters Club, we get tickets at £25. Now, I'm not saying I expect them to be £25 at a World Cup game, but to jump up nearly 1,000% is absolutely ridiculous to the sort of standard fan.
Rob, what would be, very quickly, what would you expect it to be? I mean, again, you got home and away of England. What would you expect the World Cup group game? It's coming in at £200 for the group games. What would you have expected it to be?
So I compare it to the Villa in Champions League last season, and I paid £97 for a group game. If we're comparing it to Champions League, £100 probably feels the top end, but affordable. I think the last caller mentioned about it's normal in America. The problem is they're comparing sports that have these one-off events. This is a tournament where we've got potentially 7 games in the space of a month, and you're not just buying 1 ticket, you're buying 7 tickets over the course of a month, and you're also flying between Toronto and New Jersey and everything else that comes with it. So you can't just look at the tickets in isolation. And they need to protect the football fan, because you're not going to get the atmosphere. You're not going to get us fans that followed England through thick and thin for the last 4 years building up our caps going, because we just can't afford it.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Rob, great call. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Mr. Rory Jennings, thank you very, very much as well. It's been a very lively Thank Footballers Friday. Up next, Sports Bar Weekend, Adam Cattrall and Carlton Cole.